You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Do we have a lot to talk about with my man Ryan Callahan today? Do we have a lot to talk about today with you? Do we have a lot to talk about? The legend has come home, Matt Dixon, the legend. And you are fired up, focused, and prepared today for the Legends era in Knoxville. We had the Legend Tournament. Now we have the Legend Era. It's official. The Legend has come home after a brief waiting period. How fired up for you right now, Matt, for the Legend Era in Knoxville?
Not necessarily just Legend Bay, but best high school signing class you've had in like 10 years. That's a lot to be excited about. I think 247 has you top in the SEC, which is kind of crazy to think about, but there's a lot to build on. We can discuss the high school recruiting versus portal recruiting and what you value. But I mean, you look at the top 10 of the high school recruiting, and it's a bunch of these teams that are going to be in the playoffs competing for a national title.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Vols number one. Legend is legendary. And LSU is nuts. Have you heard? So somebody who's really following the LSU thing for me said that the governor down there, before we get into the Vols, because the Vols are, and we're going to really focus down today with my boy, who's going to be in here, Ryan Callahan, who breaks it down scientifically. But now the Legend, they put out an official, now it looks like an official video is out. Matt, yesterday wasn't I don't know. UT was putting a video out, I guess before the mom saw. I don't know anything of this stuff. I don't try to.
All I know is he had Ohio State stuff all around him at his signing day thing.
You yesterday. Like it? You like it?
And he's from Texas, so we don't have a great track record with Texas high school players.
Interesting. He might be the first. As they say in the hey, somebody's got to be first to pan out from the Lone Star State for us.
Hey, David Leverton panned out.
Leverton, yeah, I love Levy. Levy listens to us.
Compare him to Legend Bay, Brian. Compare
Willie Miles panned out.
Willie Miles was a nice player. That's Brian? Right. I like Buddy Miles too, and Buddy and Willie. Any of the Mileses.
Hey, the Darius
Miles. Who?
And he was the throw-in to get Lennon Creer. And he wound up panning out a whole lot more than
Lennon Creer. Wow, that's a great memory you have, Matt. We're fired up, folky, and prepared for you today. Matt, we got a lot to talk about today. So yesterday we had a little incident on the show, and I want to ask you about it. But the conversation about high school recruiting or portal recruiting is certainly one worth having. Today, in Byron's world, over on tclub.team, he has a solution to help fix college football. The calendar is totally jacked up. Not that I care about whether or not Lane Kiffin's seen in a poor light. Lane Kiffin's going to do enough things down there to be seen in a poor light. He doesn't need the help of the screwy calendar of major college football, but he is getting the help. He is getting the help. this thing is going to be really, really fun to see how it all works. In terms of the sport now is just a curiosity here, there, and everywhere. You're just putting together 1-year teams, and it's awesome to be, have that top 5 class. It would have been really awesome to have it like 10 years ago. I think this is the highest class Tennessee's had in 11 years, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
2015 I saw.
One of Butchie boys that had a lot of those in-state kids in it, and Khalil McKenzie.
Yeah,
Jennings.
Butchie boy had Jennings and McKenzie, and then they also ended up getting the kid from Alabama that year.
Alvin
Kamara, yeah. That was a hell of a class. Wow. Woo!
Yeah. Butch Jones had 2 playoff teams and went 8-4 with them.
Butchie boy probably would have scratched a playoff, right, in one of those years?
2 4-team playoffs.
No, he had 2 4-team playoff teams and went 8-4 and wouldn't have made a 12-team with them. That's how mismanaged he was.
So
be kind.
I'm fired up. Folky.
He could barely make a 12-team Sunbelt playoff now.
I'm fired up, Folky, and prepared. Tennessee basketball, we're going to start drilling down on it. It's going to start getting real to us because the portal doesn't open for like a month. So now we got to sit here and watch and wait and hear all the rumors and this, that, and the other. But Ryan Callahan's going to join us here in a few minutes. I love that signing day pop yesterday from Tennessee, though. They had some people in their pocket, and they walked right out there and they gangsted some people yesterday, which is great to see. Question is, how much budget do you have left for the portal? Because it's a team with immediate needs immediate fixing. There is very little doubt to any of us that is, in fact, the reality of this deal. They need serious fixing. Matt, I was asking those guys yesterday, Matt, shopping list-wise, okay? Shopping list-wise. What would you be in the market for in the portal? What would you be in the market for, Matt, if you were making your shopping list and checking it twice?
Obviously, interior defensive linemen, linebackers, and safeties for sure. Like guys that can absolutely contribute, whether they're starters or not. Guys that you can put out there in the field and they can help you.
Yep.
And then just kind of maybe any interior offensive lineman, because that was a position you kind of struggled at down the stretch this year. And then just kind of best available, best fits.
Yeah.
You gotta do your due diligence and find some guys, because you can't have dead weight, but you've got to have the right kind of players too.
And then I wonder how many guys, like X was saying yesterday, it's like a 1-to-1 proposition, which is what we saw and have seen in the past. So one guy enters, one guy leaves. They probably tap a few people on their shoulders and say, hey, you need to get on with your life's work. It's not going to be here, which is a sad thing, but that goes on at every level of this thing. So I wonder how many guys we will see matriculate into the portal in the next little bit. How many guys we start hearing about. One of the things I asked Ryan Callahan about. And then the thing that none of us know is the mysterious issue of a budget. Because here's the thing. You've got 2 budgets. You've got the budget that the school allows you to spend under the house ruling. And then you've got the budget that the rest of these SEC teams are working with, which is to say the rest of that money, however much you want to spend. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to keep it off the books. They're going to keep it away from those punks and clowns with the commission who have no business in the middle of this anyway. But they've cut themselves into the middle of it. But it's a total farce. And dear Mr. Fantasy, I mean, let's act like it's real. It's not real. So we're going, based on yesterday, it looks like the Vols are going to come out hot. The Vols are going to come out hot, man. The Vols are going to come out hot. And so some people are poo-pooing this signing class, saying, well, it really doesn't matter. I stand with Matt. Anytime you can land in the top 5 or number 1 in America, hey, man, sign me up for that. You could say the same thing about a lot of Tony Vols' signing class as well. You know, a lot of those guys didn't make it to campus, yada, yada, yada. Hey, he won a national championship doing that. And Matt's right. You look at the teams that finished near the top, except for USC. USC manages, Matt, to recruit like that every year, and they manage to somehow miss the playoffs every year. So you got to give USC credit. They've been very consistent under Lincoln Riley, Matt. They've recruited very well, and they've managed to go either 9-3 or 8-4 every year. Good dues to him. He gets a lot of credit. There are exceptions to all rules. But any rate, Matt, we've got an issue, and I need you to help me here because we've petitioned up to Nick Bockwinkel II. Do you have any idea, any inkling of how Bockwinkel's going to roll on Joshy Boy yesterday, getting into the YouTube room and chatting with the 400 or 500 folks in there? We're like over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. What you think?
You said he was in the chat, the YouTube chat yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. That's part of the show. So that and I saw he's kind of been gloating and bragging on Twitter about what he said, too.
Yes,
so.
He's been putting it out.
You know,
but I can't.
I thought it was kind of a soft suspension to begin with. I thought it should have been longer.
Yep.
So, and this stuff, if he's, jumping in the YouTube comments, like Jameis Winston showing up suspended to that Florida State game dressing out.
So obviously,
you just can't do that.
He hasn't learned from his.
Yeah, he clearly hasn't learned from what he
bragging
said
on Twitter.
Has he even apologized?
Apologized? You ought to see the text to me. And and listen, I've kept his text away from Commissioner Bockwinkel. Because I don't want the kid to get the book thrown at him. I like the kid,
Yeah. Well, but it was nice to actually see a face on Commissioner Bockwinkel in our pre-production meeting today. But
we talked to him.
There's some information that he needs to be made aware of.
No, I don't.
I know it's the holiday season and all, but
he's not listening right now.
Boy, when you come out from under wings, you gotta fly the plane.
Well, Commissioner Bockwinkel's up in Kansas City right now at the Warren Bockwinkel Foundation. He's not going to hear any of this, hopefully, and hopefully nobody sends him anything. But yeah, the texts and the conduct off the air, it's been detrimental to the team. But we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to take a brief timeout because on the other side, we're going to break it down scientifically with Ryan Callahan, who joins, and I cannot wait to talk with him. He's a 247 where the Vols are number one. You are number one with me. And if YouTube wasn't so fascist, I'd play a little bit of that jam for you, but unfortunately, they ain't having that. No offense to YouTube. As we continue with more, it is your Basilio show on a Thursday. The Vols getting ready for a game against an international all-star team in Illinois on Saturday night. We'll be on with Garza Law. Tennessee basketball overtime after that one. Fired up, focused, and prepared. Ryan Callahan after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes, like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Brr! It's getting cold outside. Is your heating system ready for winter? Don't wait to find out. Pipe Wrench's $79 heating system tune-up ensures your HVAC is ready for those cold nights so your home stays warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your HVAC system for maximum efficiency and comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. Call or schedule your $79 heating system tune-up online today at pipewrench.com. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
Basilio here with Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Alan, is it true? Are we really having a Black Friday sale? Lay it on me.
Yeah, Tony, Black Friday is the biggest time of the year.
By the way, the Black Friday sale's been held over, so listen to Alan talk about it. It's through Monday this week. You've got a few more days to jump on it.
For us, we're going to do a 40% off sale. That's what we're doing to everybody else. But for the Tony Basilio listeners, we're going to do 45% off. So you get an additional 5% off, which should be hundreds of dollars. All you got to do is use the promo code Tony. But for the real listeners, we're going to do another promo code. The second promo code is going to be promo code NEGADAVE. So with the promo code NEGADAVE, you actually pay 5% more. So 35% off using promo code NEGADAVE, 45% off using promo code Tony.
Hey Brian Hartman, NEGADAVE is. Give me a little NEGADAVE, Bri. Is he gonna watch any more Tennessee basketball, Bri?
I'm not gonna watch another game.
All right, I'm
tired of it.
Little promo code in the middle spot there. Having some fun here, but when you're talking about 120 super core floors, I've shown them over on the website, the video. You can't destroy this floor.
Very tough floor that I designed. When I say literally millions of square feet, we've got 2 warehouses in Johnson City full of flooring. We're ready to go for any size project. But yeah, it's a remarkable product. It's the best waterproof flooring on the market because we sold everyone else's floors and I designed the floor that's better than everyone else.
WeShipFloors.com. Free shipping to all, anywhere in the country.
Go Vols, Tony.
TB back with you. The great Ryan Callahan's finna join. Finna join. And that Alan from We Ship Floors is a pistol. He's in here basically saying... he wants Joshy Boy freed. Alan, I love you. I appreciate your support, but some things are out of my hands, man. And the fate of Joshy Boy is one of them. Now, Joshy Boy just said that he's on hold. Okay? Now, here's the deal. If he's, in fact, tries to call in, he gets a week added on to his suspension. So, I sort of want him to think about it before he tries to get on the show. We've had people do that before, and then that's the way it works. You get a week added onto your suspension. Which seems kind of fair, right, Matt? That seems kind of fair.
I can see Joshy Boy doing drive-bys like Cattleman.
He's apparently doing drive-bys in the YouTube chat now.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of things, man. Sometimes people just get taken in by their characters. Okay, so I'm back to Matt. Are we worried about our basketball program before we get in the hunt and in the mix with the great one who's going to call us and will be joining here momentarily? We're waiting on him.
Not the program as a whole, as long as Barnes is here, but this team, I'm not sure you're as good as last year. But the entire SEC is nowhere close to as good as it was last year either. You've obviously got some work to do. You got to find a little bit of scoring. You need Ament to not have bad night. You can't have Ament and Gillespie have bad nights together. When they do that, you're almost certainly going to lose to any team that can dribble and shoot.
The great Ryan Callahan now joins us on the show. He of 247 fame. He of expertise in the world of high school recruiting. Ryan, am I seeing things, or the Vols numero uno as I welcome you in? How you doing, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, brother. Good to talk to you.
Same here.
I'm sure you've come up for air. Are the Vols number one, or am I seeing things?
They're not number one. Are you seeing? What are you looking at a page somewhere that has some different rankings? Or
give me where you guys have Tennessee right now. 247.
No, they're currently our rankings that you see on our website are based on the 24/7 Sports composite. So that's combining the rankings from all the major sites, and that That has Tennessee at number 7 right now overall, but number 3 in the SEC. Now, what you're seeing some people reference, and it's something that we don't actively promote because our team rankings are done using the composite, but if you take just the rankings that are compiled by our analysts, so only 24/7 Sports rankings, there are rankings right now that have Tennessee. Those rankings right now have Tennessee at number 3 overall and number 1 in the SEC. Now, again, that's something you can't even find with the link on our website. It's not something we promote, but some people know how to find it. So anyway, you can find those rankings, and they do have Tennessee with currently the number 1 class in the SEC. So that may be what you've come across somebody talking about, and yeah, that's obviously a reflection of the fact that our analysts are pretty high on a lot of the guys in Tennessee's class, and we're a little bit higher than others in the industry on some of Tennessee's signees, including Faison Brandon. We're the only ones that have Gabriel Osenda as a 5-star prospect. So that I think that's kind of where you see the difference there in ours versus the industry wide rankings. But definitely our analysts are pretty high on the Vols and what they brought in yesterday.
The significance of what Tennessee's done here, in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. I mean, for obviously what you've seen year after year under Josh Heupel is kind of a gradual, steady improvement in recruiting. That first cycle, they went from being not even really in the discussion for some of the types of players that we're seeing them sign now, and they've obviously in year 2 made a pretty big jump. Year 3 made a noticeably bigger jump, and so they've now started to climb where they cracked the top 10, and now they went to signing day yesterday with a class that was firmly within the top 10, and at one point reached number 5 in those 24/7 Sports composite rankings before Celeste Moed flipping to Utah, knocked them back outside the top 5 in those for the time being. But you see Tennessee just continuing to gradually move up there and be one of those teams that can be in the mix for a top 5 class, and that's a big deal. I know people are probably thinking that's the type of thing that should be the expectation at Tennessee, and you're not wrong to think that way. That when Tennessee's rolling, it can do that. But there's just so many programs these days capable of recruiting at that level, and to be even just in that discussion takes a lot. So I think give Tennessee credit for getting it to that point, and then it's also just a reflection of what we all know is happening in college football recruiting right now, which is, NIL and now revenue sharing have changed the landscape entirely. I mean, if you just look at 24/7 Sports rankings, the number 1 player in the country signed with Houston, and the number 3 player in the country signed with Vanderbilt. And you go through the top 15, and it's Texas Tech, and it's all these programs we're not used to seeing up there. And it's just a reminder that the talent is just being spread around so evenly among 20-plus, sometimes 30-plus programs that all have resources now to be competitive. And so it's just, give Tennessee credit on one hand for finding a way to be one of the programs that kind of comes out on top among the just massive teams that have those resources. And then at the same time, it's a reminder that the margin between, even the number 7 class and the number 15 class is pretty thin. So you've got to continue to evaluate well and develop and retain and all those things for it to matter. But Tennessee did a really nice job and has continued to in this era and is kind of maximizing its resources.
From your perspective, I think that Vanderbilt game, in my mind, is a little bit narrative changing because it puts pressure on that coach. How many of these guys in your mind that they're inking could get on the field next year? What do you think that number is, or make a contribution?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are different levels of contributions as freshmen. I mean, most of Tennessee's freshmen this year played in some form or fashion. It's just they weren't, starters. They weren't guys that were getting regular minutes before injuries, made an impact. But, Ty Redmond's a guy that, for instance, wasn't expected to be a starter, but injuries kind of forced him in there, and he ends up being a nice player by the end of the year and starts 11 out of 12 games. So, I think when you count contributions like that, and then down to the guys like Jaden Perlotti, a guy like that ends up in the back end of a rotation because of an injury and just continuing to progress and things like that. I think you could see it, probably just ballparking, of course, this early, probably about half or more of that class, will probably make some sort of contribution like that. Now, what we don't know right now is will Tristan Keys at wide receiver start as a true freshman? Chris Brazel's leaving, but got some other returning receivers you got to beat out for playing time. So what's his role look like? Will Faison Brandon be the starting quarterback either to begin the year or at some point next year? There's some big questions out there for just what types of roles these guys will play, but I think there are a good number that will be hard to keep off the field, and I'll be particularly interested in seeing how many of those defensive linemen that end up, maybe finding their way into the back end of the rotation there. That we saw some of those guys play this year as freshmen. It can be hard in the SEC. Ethan Utley and some of those guys, they were sort of in and out of the rotation or not playing consistently well. But Tennessee's probably going to need at least a few of those, and they signed 9 guys who either project as edge rushers or defensive linemen that they're going to need at least some help there, probably with all they're losing at that position.
Can you, at the end of the day, when now that this class has been put to bed, and now it's time to focus on the portal, right? It's really tricky, isn't it? From your perspective, like this whole industry has changed. And you guys have adjusted. You've adjusted real well. The portal now becomes a pretty major component of this thing, doesn't it? Like the immediate future, anyway.
Oh, absolutely. It's everyone's kind of figured out that it's just recruiting used to be just the lifeblood of your program in terms of high school recruiting, junior college recruiting. That's where everything came from, and now it's just one of a couple ways you can fill out your roster, and the transfer portal is the other one. And we've seen so many programs that can put themselves at least in the mix for guys based on the activity they do and that they have in the portal each year. Ole Miss is one that's obviously done it pretty well and managed to now make the college football playoff based on some of that portal success. Sometimes it's more, cherry picking guys, just, filling a few key spots here and there, more like what Tennessee did this year with Joey Aguilar and some others. But it's not, there's not a one size fits all approach, but there's no question. It's a huge part of what every program does now. And if you're not just devoting a ton of resources to filtering through all the players in the portal, seeing what's out there, obviously there are programs across the country trying to tamper with players essentially and having back channel communications to try to convince guys to enter the portal and things like that. If you're not doing a lot of those things and doing them well, you're setting yourself back, as Dabo Swinney and Clemson and some others have found out by not being as active in the portal. You've got to be doing both. You've got to be taking advantage of what's out there in the portal and recruiting well from the high school ranks, or it's hard to keep up with some of the top programs.
Do the Vols get active here? What do you think?
I think so. I think they're going to be, a little more active than past years. I wouldn't expect a wholesale change. I mean, Tennessee did just sign 29 or 28, I should say, high school players in this class. So you're not going to just go out and load up on transfers. And let's be real, they've got some important players coming back on both sides of the ball where they shouldn't need to just overhaul things. But there are some obvious needs on this roster, and you've got to be to your point about the Vanderbilt loss, that they've got to be looking at this offseason as an opportunity to retool and fix whatever problems they might have going into next year, where now they've got to look at it as they've got to win. And it's not that they weren't looking at it that way before, but I think there's got to be a real sense of urgency knowing the type of schedule they're facing next year and the types of expectations they're going to have to sort of turn things around after the way this season ended. So, yeah, I think they will be pretty active. As far as a number on how many guys they might add in the portal, I don't know about that yet, but it's, my guess is we're probably looking at, double digits in the portal, and that's not a huge number for a lot of programs, but for Tennessee and sort of where that roster is, which is relatively healthy overall, I think that would be a pretty healthy number if they end up signing 10-plus guys and, 5 or 6 that end up being, major contributors. That something like that sounds about right, but it's going to depend on how many they lose as well. I think that's a key thing. What happens over the next month behind the scenes, who ends up leading from Tennessee's roster, that may be just as big of a story as who they end up adding, because they're every offseason, as we saw last year with Mike Matthews and later, Ricky Gibson and some of those guys, you're fighting to retain your own players, and that's as much of a storyline as anything when it comes to the transfer portal.
The other thing that goes on, too, right, with these teams is when guys bring kids in, 4- and 5-star players, and they don't get on the field right away, teams are immediately calling those families, knowing hey, they probably shouldn't have played anyway, but let's see if we can shake a prospect or two loose. And maybe it's somebody you finish second for. That's another thing that we've seen recently with this concept of the bounce-back recruit. He doesn't choose us the first time around, but he chooses us the second time of the round. How challenging is it for you, Ryan? And I know you do a real thorough, great job. How challenging is it for you to collate all this information that's going to come at you over the next 3 weeks? All these rumors, hey, so-and-so's leaving, and then you got to hold some of it. Some of it you got to share with your subscribers. I mean, I think it's something that everybody kind of struggles with, but how do you guys handle that?
Yeah, I mean, you really just have to look into everything you hear on some level, and you do your best to check into it. You figure out what's real and what's not, and inevitably, that things move so fast when it comes to transfer portal activity. A span of 2 or 3 days can change a lot, and so this year will be different. The timing of the transfer portal, I think, will be kind of fascinating to see how this plays out. But you've got a month here where schools are going to have kind of time to set the stage for what's going to actually happen once the portal officially opens, and it's going to lead to a kind of a gradual build-up. So I think we'll have at least a sense of where things are headed by the time the portal opens, and that's usually not the case, where the portal just kind of opens at the end of the season and it's just chaos from the start. So this is a very different feel to this one, and it'll be sort of an adjustment in some ways. But yeah, you're usually over a span of 2 or 3 days, you're just the things that you hear more consistently. You know to go with them, and a lot of times these things will turn into a visit pretty quickly. At least in past years, when you did have kind of an accelerated timeline on the transfer portal, Tennessee might reach out to a guy, and then within 24 hours you hear that a visit's already been set up. So it's a lot of times you're just you move pretty quickly to try to find out what's going on or what might not be happening, and by the time you find out there's something real to it, a lot of times there's already some traction in terms of setting up a visit. But yeah, this year will be a little bit different, and maybe waiting to see kind of how things play out over a series of days or even a couple weeks. This will have a little more of a longer schedule for how things will play out, because some of these guys that we know are already in the portal can't officially go in until January 2nd.
Right. Why don't they just open the portal now, Ryan? What's the reason for that, do you think?
I think the big thing is just wanting to limit the amount of chaos. This is obviously on the coach's end as much as anything. If you open it now, then it sort of ramps up the pressure immediately. Whereas now it feels more, I think, controllable for coaches when you know that you have until January 2nd to sort of keep someone from entering the portal officially. That makes the situation a little more manageable, or gives you a little more an ability to try to put out some fires before something becomes real. So they've always wanted to keep the number of days the portal is open to a minimum, and it's also less of a distraction. I think that was a big thing, is keeping it away from the college football playoff as much as possible. You're not going to be able to keep it away from the championship and the semifinals for sure, but for the teams playing in the first round, the first 2 rounds, they want those teams to be able to at least focus on as much of that as possible without the transfer portal just completely taking over. And that's what had happened to the month of December. It was such a distraction to coaches. You can't even focus on competing for a national championship because you're worried about retaining your roster for next year. So I think that was the big thing. We'll see how much it helps, but that's been a priority for coaches, and they wanted about a 10, 15-day window for all portal activity. It's going to make it pure chaos probably when it opens on January 2nd, but they at least want to try to keep things under control, and this gives them the option to kind of make the month of December a little more manageable.
You nailed it, man. It's going to be absolute chaos. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that 10 to 14-day window, whatever it is. I don't think that. I think that's going to be unprecedented. And here's the other thing that's going to happen. Somebody's going to get up in the spring and get an offer from somebody, and they're going to go to court, and they're going to challenge this thing, and it's not going to hold up in court. What do you think?
It would not surprise me at all. I mean, we've seen so many of these things, from Diego Pavia and the junior college eligibility question that still might impact Joey Aguilar to transfer portal timing, all this stuff, and in a lot of ways it's all a house of cards, and that's until, and this is why Danny White and I think a lot of the leaders who kind of see where this is probably all going over the long haul keep mentioning this. If you collectively bargain with players and agree to something on both sides, then you can't really challenge it. Then everybody's agreed to it. Then everybody's represented and has a say in it. But when it's just one side making the rules and they don't think the rules are fair and they take you to court, they might win and cause that house of cards to just tumble. So that's the problem with all this, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if someone does that. I will be fascinated because there are some players, and I've already heard of some, who are, who might be interested in going to the transfer portal, say, after the spring, but the timing of their graduation isn't ideal. If you're, even graduate transfers can't work around this current timeline. So if you're wanting to graduate in May and then transfer this year, you can't do that. So your only options are to risk, so you got to transfer. The timing of when you transfer is tricky for guys who have only 10 hours of credits left to get, or 12, 15 hours, whatever, to get. You can't transfer that close to getting a degree without kind of throwing away some of your academic progress. So for a lot of these guys, that is a concern that they're having to work around. You either have to go ahead and jump in the portal knowing that you're not going to leave until later on or something like that, or it kind of makes it a little bit messy for guys who would ideally leave after spring practice. So that's one aspect of this. I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out this year.
And I'm kind of embarrassed, because working in this every day, I should know, but I had assumed that the SEC had adopted the 105 scholarship thing, but they haven't, which I think is kind of interesting. And I was looking into it yesterday. The football coaches want it. The athletic directors don't, because they don't have to create 20 more women's scholarships, which might mean in some cases, adding a sport or two, which becomes kind of a headache, and this, that, and the other. Do you expect them to ratify and go to 105 like some of the leagues have?
Yeah, I think it's eventually bound to head that way. But yeah, there's been some pushback, and it's been a bit surprising to a lot of people on the football side of things that it has been so difficult to get that over the finish line. Because usually the SEC especially is not going to do anything that's going to put itself at a competitive disadvantage against other conferences. But like you said, there may be some other factors to consider, and it's not a big deal to add 20 more scholarships, but you are talking about probably another $1 million plus in scholarships for most schools just by adding those. And then on top of that, what does that mean for Title IX implications? So lot to consider, I guess, but it's still surprising to a lot of people on the football side of things across the conference, and they thought they would be for sure at 105 going into this offseason, and they still might get there soon. They've still been discussing it, but the fact that it's not done yet has caught some people by surprise, and I'm not sure exactly what to expect there because there are some different voices involved in that one.
Yeah, and Ryan, I just assumed they had done it because they're the bigger, badder SEC, and if anybody's going to lay claim, and people were like, no, it's still at 85, and it was kind of embarrassing yesterday to sort of get caught on the air, but it's indicative of, you can bathe in this stuff and think but it's like they're making the rules up as they go along with all this stuff. Like what you just said about the fifth-year transfers, and this recruiting thing is like really your area expertise. That makes zero sense, what you just said about graduate transfers and the spring. But it's like they just make these rules up nilly-willy, and I don't know if they're serving the sport with what they're doing, because I think they've created more messes than they think, and I think this early portal thing is going to be an absolute blank show from the word go. What are you expecting? I think it's going to be total chaos.
Yeah, it very well might be. I've not heard of any guys who are already planning legal challenges or anything like that. But to your point, I mean, there are some things that could easily, what if something like this is what I think of. So say you bring in a player, and this kind of thing happens every year. But you bring in a player in January out of the transfer portal. He goes ahead and signs, and then see the portal dates. That doesn't limit you to adding a player during that 15-day window. That's just the window for entering the portal. So say the portal closes, someone already gets on campus, and a school decides to bring in another player late that impacts that first player who came in and his ability to get on the field.
Yes.
Normally you would have the additional recourse of leaving after spring practice if the coaching staff pulled something like that. This year you wouldn't have that option. So all it takes is one player being unhappy with his playing time situation after spring ball and deciding he wants to challenge this in court to potentially cause a problem for it. So I am sort of fascinated by that aspect of things, along with, guys who would ideally like to transfer after spring practice for academic reasons or whatever. There's multiple reasons this could be a problem for some guys. So I'm I'm not sure what to expect, but yeah, I think it's going to be obviously wild to put all that transfer portal activity in a 15-day window, and to have all these guys, with different motivations who might want to leave after spring practice and currently not having that option.
Well, here's the other thing that's going to happen. Guys will sign with a team because of a certain assistant coach, and assistant coaches are going to leave.
Yeah.
And you don't have any, like you said, you have no recourse. Now you're stuck at a place. The guy that recruited you there is gone. You're miserable. You don't have the playing time. The new position coach you inherit doesn't like you, whatever. Let me ask you this. As we visit Ryan Callahan, 247, breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device, on your Tony Basilio show, give me, from this signing class that we just witnessed, which is way up there in the country, as you just mentioned, and I was cherry-picking your 247 ranking. You weren't selling for it before, but I'm calling it the number one class in the country, which isn't my style. Okay, Ryan, so hyperbole, we've never been prone to that around here. So give me 4 guys that you really, really like out of that class. 4 guys that you think are really good. I don't care, regardless of what their ranking is. I don't care what their star ranking is. 4 guys you really like out of that class.
Man, that's not just saying this. It's really hard to do that with a class as deep as Tennessee's, because there are so many. I mean, that was sort of the impressive thing about Tennessee's class this past year too. The 25 class, the depth they've gotten in these last 2 classes is so strong that you can go 15, 17 deep in this class and really still be talking about high level players. So they give them credit for that, and especially a class this big. It's not shocking at this point, but it's still impressive to have that many to choose from. It's hard to not start with Faison Brandon just because he's such a unique talent. I've seen him play in person. Obviously, the film's impressive. I think the touchdown to interception ratio he's had in high school is worth talking about. He's still got to develop as a passer. I don't think anyone should come in thinking this guy's going to just blow the top off of it as a true freshman. I mean, there just aren't many quarterbacks doing that anywhere these days. Obviously, what happened with Nico and Arch Manning has taken time to get to where he's playing now. There's plenty of examples. So it's going to take him some time probably, but man, he is when he's just showing off the skill set and the things he can do, he's such a talent, and I think he's certainly deserving of where we have him ranked at number 2 overall in this class. Going down the rankings a little bit, I mean, Tristan Key's another one. Just it's hard to imagine him not just being a good football player. I will say this: I think some fans might just be assuming that because he's the number 1 wide receiver in the class that he's going to be Jeremiah Smith. I do think you're going to have to temper those expectations a little bit. I don't think there are many Jeremiah Smiths out there that just come in and do that right away. And every year the number 1 receiver is not necessarily that guy. But he's got a chance to be really good. And so I think certainly he's one you've got to mention right off the bat. Sort of down the rankings a little bit, maybe, at least for some people. Tyreek King here locally is a guy that I'm not going to be surprised at all if he's a really good player. I think in Tennessee's system, he's got a chance to really shine. I just think he's a really natural receiver, great playmaking ability, just can do a lot with the ball in his hands, and I'll be surprised if he's not really productive throughout his college career. And then a bunch of guys you could pick from on defense. I'll go with Braden Rouse at linebacker just because I think he is sort of exactly what you're looking for at linebacker in the modern game. He's a former wide receiver and played safety before linebacker. He can kind of do it all. He's long, he's rangy, really quick, and still just kind of starting to figure out what he really can be as a true every down linebacker. He's rushed off the edge before. He can kind of do it all and plays well in space too. So I think Braden Rouse has a chance to be, an early round NFL pick, obviously, if he can reach his potential. And I won't be surprised at all if he's one of the better players in this class by the time it's all said and done.
Ryan Callahan, you're excellent. You're a gentleman. You're a scholar. I hope you'll come back when the portal stuff starts to heat up and the madness. When will we start seeing and start hearing about Tennessee players, do you think, that are heading? And how many guys do you feel like are portal bound right now from what you hear?
Man, it's honestly, you can't say this early because there's so many conversations that still have to take place. I think there are some guys that may have already gotten the idea that they think they want to go in the portal, but that doesn't mean that they're going to. And there's so many things this time of year that it really does change fast. And when we're almost a month out, it's too early to say. But we've already seen a couple, obviously, Kellen Lindstrom, guys like that are not, that's a playing time situation for guys like that. So you're going to see some of those. The ones that obviously will determine this offseason for Tennessee are the ones that are, like Mike Matthews last year, some of those types of guys. Is there one of those guys going into his second year, like you talked about, someone that you wouldn't expect to have to hold on to, that maybe ends up getting a call from someone that makes things interesting? Those are kind of the ones I'm interested in seeing. I don't think there will be a big number of impactful players from Tennessee that end up leaving, but I think everywhere across college football, you're probably going to lose at least one or two of those each year. Who is it? Where does the problem come from? That's going to be the big storyline to kind of keep track of. So I don't know a number, and I don't know how many of those guys even down the depth chart might end up leaving. But certainly there's a lot of guys that Tennessee will have to have some conversations with over the next few weeks and put out a lot of fires, I'm sure, to hold on to some guys.
You're a double-digit plus guy, though, out of the portal, right? Because this team's got to get better in the middle. I mean, you said it earlier, I'm not trying to hold you to anything, but you said you thought double-digit guys, look, they've got to get better at safety. They've got to get better in the middle of the field. They've got to get better in the middle of the field in their defensive line. I mean, they just
I think 10-plus makes sense. And again, what does it look like? How many of them are big money guys that you're really beating out big programs for? Who knows? But I think, like you said, the needs at safety and on the defensive line are very real. They need depth at some other positions, and you've got to go take some swings on some guys this year that maybe you wouldn't have in past years, just because the sense of urgency has got to be there going into next season to win, because there's no kicking the can down the road. You got LSU coming in, you got Auburn with Alex Golesh, you got, I mean, the SEC is always this way, but everyone in this conference is coming for you, so you've got to be ready. You've got to be aggressive. I think Tennessee will be a little more aggressive, but how much more aggressive, we'll kind of have to wait and see.
You're the man. If folks want to reach out, interact with you, subscribe, any of that good stuff, give the pitch, my man. It's always good talking with you.
Yeah, GoVols247.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at RyanCallahan247. It's 50% off right now for an annual subscription, so great time to join the site, get all the coverage from wrapping up signing day. We'll start looking ahead to 2027 here pretty quickly, and obviously transfer portal stuff already underway and plenty more coming. So great time to join the site and check out all that and much, much more. And appreciate you, Tony, and everything you do.
Thank you, my brother. Great talking to you.
Same here.
The great Ryan Callahan, one more time, who Negadave was in the chat saying he thought was C because they sound alike. Do they sound alike? Do he and C sound alike? Matt Dixon, what do you think? I guess they do.
Maybe a little bit, but I've met both of them, and they're two different people. I think C's still out in Vegas right now.
What did you make of Ryan Callahan saying he thinks they're going to go double-digit plus in the transfer portal, which is a departure from what we've done in years past? That means he must be hearing Matt, they've got to overhaul their defense, right? They have to against that schedule next year, right?
Well, you've got to just get better regardless of what your schedule is. Yeah, you've got to. Your defense was awful this year. Awful. You were top 10 last year, and then this year you totally fell off a cliff and were like bottom 20 in the country. And you just look bad. Sometimes numbers can be deceiving, but they weren't with our defense. They were out of position, poor angles. Slow, undersized, like everything. They couldn't play zone coverages at all. I mean, everything about it was just bad. And some of that's players, some of that's coaching. You got to make sure you bring in the right players that maybe they don't necessarily need some of that technical coaching because they obviously didn't get it last year. The players on the team. So yeah, you've got to overhaul a lot on your defense, which is always kind of risky.
And then the other thing is, and we're going to have a new quarterback next year because you can't wait on that Joey Aguilar deal. You can't. And then the Curtis kid down there at Vandy, who knows, But they got themselves one of these private school warriors who's out there, like Sean said, running over guys my size, concussing them in football games. Looked like Jefferson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But it's all kind of fun.
Does he have brothers who get arrested at his games?
Yes.
What does his mom look like?
Are the Pavias just the one video of the one Tennessee fan trying to fight with them on the way out of the stadium, Matt? Have you seen that? It is the most illiterate looking thing.
Was it Andy?
That whole crew of Pavias.
I hope WWE signs them. They could be a great heel tag team or whatever.
Vanderbilt's trying to look for a game this weekend, like an impromptu game to show they belong in the playoffs.
No,
so maybe that's another chance for the Pavia brothers to make an appearance somewhere.
No, they're not.
And get arrested there. Yeah, that's what Clark Lee wants to get a game together, somebody to play this Saturday. Like he said, we could be ready.
Let's run that damn thing back.
We have to.
We ought to answer the call and run that thing back, Matt Dixon. We ought to answer the call.
No, we shouldn't.
Yes, we should answer the call. Answer the call, Heupel. What do you mean? Like it's like COVID, like when Jamie Chadwell and them took on BYU
and Coastal
in that street fight
games ever.
That's
so awesome.
Total street
BYU
fight.
BYU went across the country on like 2 days' notice.
Yes, they did.
That was awesome.
And the game was so physical.
Yes, they beat the hell out of each other. That was such a great game. I love it. That's one of my favorite college football games.
Literally, it's what college football should be all about. The spirit of that play in that game.
All the BYU fans sending crumble cookies to Penn State's AD the other day is just next level as well. That's so awesome.
Matt, Penn State's coaching search, they get turned down yesterday by
Jeff Brom. Who would have been a really good hire, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you would have contacted him like in October, I like firing a guy in September because you're
having no clue what you're doing
and having no clue. Everybody thinks, they got something in their pocket, and they've
at some point they're going to get down to Schiano because he's at least got Penn State ties, right? I mean, isn't Molken going to push for that eventually?
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
Keep it live and legal, live and large. Taking you up to William Pattison here on Fan Run Radio. Dubsy and the gang have a ton of great stuff for you as well. Shout out to my man Bob Baskerville and what he's doing with CeeLo as well.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
All right, we're coming in hot today after a number one class by the Vols that Ryan Callahan was no-selling format. I mean, they got him number one over there. And I didn't do it.
7th nationally in the composite, 5th nationally by 247 2 weeks ago by anyway, since they ranked Tennessee highest in that.
Yes.
But it's number one in the SEC by 247.
There you go.
Deal.
And I say number one, you are number one with me. And I get a T-shirt printed. Illinois, y'all. Saturday night in Nashville. Our basketball team, guys, does not look... I don't know. They looked out of sorts the other night. It looked like a cold night up there in Syracuse. I guess that's why we don't like playing road games. That Syracuse team absolutely needed that game. Brian, what did the ACC-SEC challenge come out at? Because we didn't hold up our end of the bargain. We won the deal, right?
Yeah, the SEC won 9 of the 16. They went 9-7. They went 14-2 last year.
Yeah. Our league's not what it was last year.
And Kentucky was one of the 2 teams that lost. And they lost again this year.
Yeah. Well, Kentucky's...
Hate to see it.
Yeah.
My cousin hit 2 of the late baskets from North Carolina to win that game in Rupp. Derek Dixon.
Another Dixon, yep. Listen, between Derek and Lynn J will never, which is how you got your Matt J title, Lynn J will never be forgotten by this living fan. He was like VFM. He was like a Vol for a minute. How long was Lynn J here, Matt? Like 10 days?
Oh, God, it might have been 2 days. I'm not sure he went through a practice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Old Lynn J. But hopefully Jeremy
That's
Warner...
what you get in the portal sometimes.
Oh, you never know. But, the thing about the portal is you got to keep on swanging. You got to keep on swanging in the portal. That's why, if I have a need area, I'm going to go sign 3 DTs if I need 1. I'm really going to cover myself. Of course, we have a huge budget, right? Don't we? Or do we spend it all on our high school recruiting? I don't know. I hope we save some money for some safeties, though. If you ask me, Tony, would you rather have, and I'm not saying this is a either or this is a fair comparison, but would you rather have like a Legend Bay or spend your money on a couple proven safeties or 1 proven safety? Give me a proven safety. But that's a me. That's a me. Jeremy Werner, though, is going to join here momentarily. In fact, Jeremy Werner, he is with your Illini Inquirer as we go to our Newsmaker hotline now. Tennessee taking on an Illinois club that sits, essentially, when you look at the numbers, they sit right there on top of them. Illinois and Tennessee are dead even in the metrics. 17 at Ken Palm, 14 at Torvik. They've got a great win over Texas Tech. They've lost to Bama. They've lost to UConn. And they continue to play a top schedule in the sport. And that is where we begin our conversation as we welcome in our special guest today on the program. And really appreciate you taking some time for us, Jeremy Werner. Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. How are you?
Yeah, it's a great day to be alive, man. And
that's right.
Yeah, glad to see this Tennessee-Illinois series. Last year's game was a lot of fun. What's it like covering all those European kids? That must be some great, just special interest stories in there.
Yeah, the one thing I love about sports, and it's the reason I wish everyone had access to covering sports, is you go in a football locker room, you go into a basketball locker room, and you see people from all these different backgrounds, socioeconomic, racial, right, geographic backgrounds, and they all work together and they all find common bonds and work together to achieve a goal. And I think it's fantastic. And that's one thing that's going for Illinois right now is they got kids from Illinois, Chicago, they got kids from Champaign, they got kids from all over the country, but also all over the world. They got kids from the Caribbean, and of course they've gone overseas and gotten a lot of kids from, the Balkans, and it's been a great spot for them. They've kind of done what Gonzaga has done over all these years with Mark Few and kind of really establishing themselves with the agents over there. And with the flood of NIL money, with the flood of revenue share money, a lot more of the talented players in Europe are interested in coming over and playing college basketball, not only to make money, but to really improve their NBA draft stock. And that certainly was the case last year with Kasparas Jakashonis. Tomislav Ivicic was a key part. He returned for another year here. And now you see David Mirkovic. Andrej Stojakovic has been in the States for a while with his dad being an NBA player. But Mihailo Petrovic is a kid that's 22 years old, not a kid. He looks like a full-grown adult because he is. But he comes over here with the opportunity to make money and help his future stock in Europe. So it's really cool. Some of these guys speak really good English. Some of them don't. But getting to know them, getting to know their culture, it's been a lot of fun, and I know Brad Underwood's had fun with it too.
The thing that's really interesting is Jeremy Werner joining Illinois Inquirer is when we talk about European ball, and I'm sure you've been through this, you look at a guy's stats, but you really have no idea like what level of competition they're playing. Tennessee's got a kid, an Israeli national, on their team right now in Berg, who at times looks a little out of his depth here early on. Maybe he gets his footing, maybe he doesn't, but he had pretty good numbers. And he played professional basketball, in his country, and he was noted as being a pretty good player, and he was on a team that went real far in that recent FIBA deal they had over in the summer, the World Tournament, which featured a bunch of NBA players. And so when you get these guys, you really don't have any idea of how it's going to translate to the American game. It's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is interesting, but a couple of these guys playing in the Adriatic League, and the Adriatic League's a full-blown professional league. It's not, Eurobasket quite level, where the top talent is over there, but there's a lot of former all Big 12, all Big 10, all SEC players that play over there that are in their mid to late 20s that say David Mirkovic was playing against and maybe only averaged 7 points and 5 rebounds, but he's playing against men every day. Mihailo Petrovic, who's Illinois' kind of sixth guy off the bench as a guard, is a blur. He was really an MVP candidate in that Adriatic League. So, he's been playing some competition that's better than high school talent, right? Tomislav Ivicic, I think he averaged about 8.6 rebounds before he came over for Illinois in the Adriatic League. So they do have, some experience against some real competition. Kasparas Jakashonis, on the other hand, he was playing more the U18, U19, but he was playing some of the best talent in the world at his age over in Europe. So, yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, but Illinois has favored guys that have played against some competition that's, proven professional players over there. So these guys kind of come in here a little bit more ready to play, but it is a different game over here. The physicality, of course, in the Big Ten, the athleticism, the length in the Big Ten, the SEC, a little bit different than what they've been playing over there. So a guy like David Mirkovic and Mihailo Petrovic, they have a little bit of, Tomislav was a guy that kind of came in and ingratiated himself right away, didn't really go through a lot of growing pains, but David Mirkovic, a young guy, is going through that, and Mihailo Petrovic with the size and physicality, he's dealing with a little bit of that as well. But the biggest thing Illinois is going through, guys, is they had not been healthy for most of the first 2-3 months since they got back in campus in the summer. Are finally healthy now, but they're kind of going through their growing pains and role identification on the court right now. So that's kind of why they've had an up and down non-conference so far.
And that is a trick, right? Like Tennessee's seen that so far this year when you can't keep all your pieces together. And then you got to play these games, like the other night, Tennessee was missing a key forward. And then they shielded from the fans that their 5-star freshman's got an ankle issue, and he's out there kind of, not himself the other night, and people are looking at it, and yet you still have to go out and play the game. Tennessee's extremely physical down low, and they got that huge front line. How do you think Illinois will match up with that?
Well, it's a really, really interesting matchup because physicality-wise, Tennessee certainly wins that. But what Illinois has is a lot of size that can shoot it, that can stretch the floor. Both the Ivicic brothers, Tomislav and Zvonimir, who people know from playing in the SEC the last couple of years at Arkansas and at Kentucky, both those guys, big 7-footers, but they can shoot the three at 38, 39%. So they can really stretch those guys out, give their guards, give their wings like Andrei Stojakovic. Colin Boswell is a phenomenal guard, one of the better players in the Big Ten this year. Those guys can get downhill and have a lot of space to operate, and it kind of takes those guys away from the rim a little bit. In Illinois, Brad Underwood prides himself on attacking the glass. So Illinois is a pretty strong rebounding team. They did get out toughed against UConn, but most of that was when UConn was playing small. Illinois has struggled more against small lineups this year than they have against big lineups because they can stretch everybody out. They can create that space, and then they can get up and down the court when they rebound and, kind of get those guys up and down in transition. So, if it becomes a half-court game, Illinois can spread those guys out. But, physicality, toughness is something Brad Underwood is working on with this team. So that's why I do find it a little fascinating. I think it sets up well if Illinois can make its threes, but they've been really inconsistent. They started off like gangbusters, but the last 6 games, they've only shot 29% from three. So if you told me Illinois makes 10-plus threes against this Tennessee team, I kind of like the front court matchup because that means they're stretching them out and hitting those threes. But if they're not hitting, then Tennessee can kind of own those boards and, kind of pound Illinois into submission. So it's a fascinating matchup with that front court. I think it can be a positive for Illinois if their big guys are hitting threes.
Down through the years, we do a post-game show here, Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, done it about 10 years, and you always feel great after a post-game show when your guys make shots. The game looks a lot easier, doesn't it, when that outside shot goes in?
Yeah, and it's been really inconsistent with Illinois. They haven't had it. Colin Boswell started off great. He's been under 25% the last 6 games. Shooting was a problem last year. Even some of the shooters on the team, Benham Rickhouse, Jake Davis, guys who are, just kind of known as shooters, those guys have been struggling with their consistency. Keaton Wagler, a young freshman who I just saw the Athletic had as a top 40 draft pick. He's dealing with, how do I deal with physicality? But he's a good shooter, but he hasn't shot well here recently. So Illinois got to get back on track there. And as you know, it's always hard on the road, and especially in a hostile environment.
Well, the thing I love about these tremendous coaches and when they schedule these games is they do them for a certain reason. It's like, I'm going to learn things about my program. Tennessee went out there in Vegas and learned stuff about their program. And, why play an easy schedule and fool yourself and rack up a bunch of wins? Because for the Illini, league plays right around the corner. In fact, it's 2 days from the Tennessee game. One thing they do in that league is they start league play in early December. I wish the SEC would do it as well. But Jeremy, the thing about playing these games is you learn a lot about yourselves. And Illinois, right now, I'm looking at the numbers. Tennessee's actually shooting the ball better than Illinois this year, which that's just not supposed to be. That's just so. Is it a team-wide slump thing? Are they concerned about it? Do they come out of it eventually? What's the thought there within the program?
I think, again, it goes back to these guys haven't played together a lot. Andrei Stojakovic missed 2 months with a knee injury, in September, October. Tomislav Ivicic was in and out. He had tonsillectomy in October. He had a knee injury at the beginning of the year that held him out some games. And then Mihailo Petrovic got here in late August. He came from overseas in late August. And then he had a hamstring injury that kept him out for most of a month and a half. So it's a team that's still figuring out what their roles all are. And Andrei Stojakovic, who is bad against UConn, was phenomenal against Alabama and Texas Tech. He's great at isolation ball, get him the ball. He can break down defenders. And he can really get to the rim, shoot over defenders inside the arc. But that kind of slows the offense down, right? Like it just slows it down to half court to a slow pace. When this team before Stojakovic was on the court, they were kind of popping. Him, Boswell, Wagler, Mirkovic, Zvonimir Ivicic, Benham Rickhouse, like the ball was popping a little bit more. So they're still figuring out like the balance of when do I go get mine? When do we push this button? When do we push this button offensively and get all the pieces to fit? I think the biggest key is Tomislav Ivicic. He was not himself when he returned from the knee injury. He was in bad shape just because he hadn't practiced. He'd barely done any activity for about a month and a half. But the back half of the UConn game, he started to come alive. He looked fresher for whatever reason after halftime, and he just looked more confident and assertive. He is probably their best overall player because he's the key cog of everything they do. The 5-out offense operates because he's a good shooter, he's a really good decision maker, he's a really good passer, and can get people easy buckets with back cuts and him passing from the top of the key or at the elbow. And then defensively, he's a really good defensive rebounder, but he wasn't when he returned from injury. In the second half against UConn, he had 8 defensive rebounds. So you're hoping Illinois is that gets him alive, and if he becomes alive, this offense can really spark because he's basically kind of a point center for them. So if he gets going along with Boswell, along with Stojakovic, and your shooters can start making some more open shots, maybe they get some more in rhythm shots, I think it could happen. But it's been a process for Illinois. The greatest thing is they've had 8 days leading up to this game, had a lot of practice time, get Tomislav back in shape, get some work. I know Brad was really harping on toughness leading into this game, but then even after this game, they have 4 games in about 4 weeks. So they get a lot of practice time to figure all this stuff out. But, you got to click pretty quickly because Tennessee's a really, really good team. Illinois's got a high ceiling, but they've been really inconsistent so far just because they've kind of had players in and out of the lineup, players in and out of practice. So we'll see what a week of practice does for them.
And Illinois's got a schedule where they've got Ohio State on Tuesday. They've got Nebraska after that. They play a game with Missouri the day before my birthday, and then you're right in the league play. But they're in the league play anyway. I know they've expanded the league, and they've been doing this for several years now. Your take on the December league basketball there?
Yeah, when you got 20 games, you got to fit them in somehow. And with 18 members in the Big Ten, you only have 2 double plays now in the Big Ten, which is absolutely crazy.
Yep.
But you got to get them in somehow. And, it does give you a little bit more of, opportunity to see what you're made of before the Christmas break, before finals week and all of that. But for Illinois and the way they schedule, and I know the way Tennessee schedules, it just makes a brutal gauntlet. They have part of the schedule here where it's 5 high major games in a row. But that's the way Brad wants to schedule. As you said, I like it, especially in college basketball, because you're not punished for it. These games do not hurt you, but if you don't win them, right, you're costing yourself the opportunity to get a really high seed. So I think Illinois, if they want to be a 2 seed, I don't know if they'll be good enough to be a 1 seed, but they want to be a 2-3 seed. Getting this game against Tennessee is really important because you've already missed some opportunities against Alabama in Chicago with Illinois fans filling United Center, and then going to UConn. That was a hostile environment with mostly UConn fans, but you missed opportunities to kind of really assert yourself as a team that could threaten for a 2 seed or something like that. So that's why this game is really important. If you can get 2 of the marquee 4 non-conference games that they have going into the Missouri game, I think you feel pretty good going into Big Ten play. But yeah, then you add those Big Ten games. Ohio State, I don't think they're great, but it's not an easy game on the road. And then Nebraska's a solid program with Fred Hoiberg, with a really good big man and Rink Mass, and they always do well in the transfer portal. So there's no breaks on the schedule. Brad Underwood set it up that way in the non-conference, but the Big Ten has a few bad teams at the bottom. But as you saw, Minnesota beat Indiana last night, so there's not a lot of breaks in the Big Ten.
Oh, no. And the SEC is a little down this year, but still, the guys you will see, especially when you go on the road in the league like you're talking about, hell, it happens all the time. Tennessee the other night, it's a perfect example. We had a guy on who grew up here, by the way. He's been covering Syracuse for 38 years. He's like a legend there. And he was telling us, look, I'll be really honest with you. Syracuse has had a few bites at the apple. They went to the Vegas deal. They should have gotten Houston, but they couldn't make foul shots. They were something like 10 of 28 in the game. And so they couldn't make foul shots. They hadn't been to the NCAA tournament in 4 seasons, which is crazy to me. He said this is a huge game for Syracuse if they want to be in the NCAA tournament. And I'm going, how in the world can an early December game be a huge game? And then I look at their schedule. Jeremy, Syracuse won the game, and it was a huge game for them. And I'm not sure how punished Tennessee gets for going to Syracuse and playing in early December. Right. To your point.
Right.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's the way it should be. College football, I kind of wish it was the same. Right? I strike the schedule and quad 1 victories. I wish that mattered a little bit more than the quantity of wins. So, so I think it's great. I think it's great that Dan Hurley schedules this way, Nate Oates, Rick Barnes, Brad Underwood. I love that they schedule this way because they're fun. They're fun games. They're memorable games if you win them for fan bases. And as you said, the reason Brad Underwood schedules these games is because, one, it can really help your resume, but two, you really find out who you are. So Illinois continues to try to find that out, and they're going to learn a lot more on Saturday.
Thank you, my man. Hey, if folks want to follow along, Jeremy Werner, you of Illini Inquirer, how do they do so? And I appreciate your time. I hope you'll come back during the year and talk hoops with us, man. I love people that love the game like you.
Yeah, IlliniInquirer.com. I'm on Twitter at jwerner247. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, our best to you at the holiday season. Thank you, brother.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Jeremy Werner, Illini Inquirer. Hey, guys, it's an interesting point. Rick Barnes has raised the level so much of Tennessee basketball. Two things. One, we're a mainstay in that Vegas tournament, which is just kind of crazy to see Tennessee in that light. That's one. Two, the other night, Matt, they win the game, and they are literally storming the court against us as we're going on the air with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a real compliment to what Rick Barnes and Tennessee basketball and everybody involved with it down through the years has done here. That was a hell of a scene up there to see those kids celebrating beating the University of Tennessee in basketball, Matt.
Yeah, it goes to show you how far Tennessee basketball has come, and also kind of where Syracuse basketball is at now that they've kind of left the Big East and lost their identity. And Boeheim's not there anymore, so they kind of lost their way a little bit. But no, it was a good, good for Syracuse to win that, and for Tennessee, it's a loss, but it's not a loss that hurts you if you learn from it and get better. It was surprising the way Tennessee played coming off that Kansas game, that they had a couple of days off, and that's the performance they had. That was a little surprising, but now you got a big step up in competition this weekend. You're kind of playing a semi-home game against a team that's pretty similar to you, and you won. You had a great game with last year. If you remember, that was kind of the Jordan Gainey game because Ziegler was in foul trouble all of it and actually fouled out pretty early in that game. I think Gainey hit that like tough contested layup at the buzzer to win it. Gainey and Lanier combined for, I think it was 40 of Tennessee's 60 whatever points. But it was really a game Tennessee kind of stole up there in Champaign. Illinois probably deserved to win, but Tennessee found a way with Gainey leading them, and I think Dubar had a couple of big plays. But that was one of the more entertaining games Tennessee played last year. And Illinois is a respected program, got some Final Fours and play a certain brand. It's a contrast of styles, really. There's some strength on strength and weaknesses on weaknesses. Tennessee's really been good on the offensive glass and with second chance points minus that Syracuse game. Illinois, because of their size, they prevent a lot of that. But Illinois doesn't turn you over. The typical Big Ten team, they're not going to try to put a lot of ball pressure on you to force turnovers, which has been a huge problem for Tennessee. Now, a lot of those have been unforced, but so that's kind of a contrast. But it is interesting, and it was a good point you brought up that Tennessee shoots better than Illinois, at least to this point in the season. So, kind of an interesting battle. We'll see kind of a chess match. It should be a really close game, just like last year.
The other thing that's really interesting about the Vols so far, just poking around, they're not real happy with their defense, Matt. Which, for a Barnes team, that's kind of a first. Like, they're not defending to the level they want to defend. The other night, they
transition defense has been the worst of the Barnes era.
It was
They've been getting beat back down court a bunch all season.
It was unbelievable. They let Syracuse just run out and run on them. It was unreal. You think that's because we've got that big, lumbering set of forwards and people are just taking advantage of it? Think that's part of the scout? Because everybody's running on us so far. Everybody.
That's probably part of it, but I mean, your guards have to get back too.
Yes.
No, I mean, I just think it's just kind of. I'm not going to say it's an effort thing. I just think guys are just kind of, either out of position or. I mean, they do attack the offensive glass a lot, which can lead to some of that. I just think that's something that that Ziegler was so good at preventing some of those things that he did defensively that never showed up in the box score. And that was probably one of it, even though he's, not a huge guy, he was always back and could stop a lot of that. But teams are getting runouts on Tennessee, and playing two bigs is a really interesting and a little bit of an odd concept that we're using, especially because even though we've made some threes, they're not like true, like outside shooting threats where you have to defend them. No. But they are pretty good passers, which makes up for it some. But because we don't have that outside shooting threat, our spacing's off offensively, so we're not getting great looks either.
Hey, Brian, are they having a concert with this game? Why are these ticket prices? Is like Lainey Wilson playing, or Taylor Swift, or somebody like warming up for a tour, or why are we charging a couple $100 for a basketball game?
Gonzaga plays Kentucky the night before, Friday night, down there in that arena. So
what are we
they've
doing?
got 2 games over the weekend. Why they're charging so much? I guess everything costs more now. So I guess that's just
$200 to go see basketball in that arena. $200 to go see a game that's played not in somebody's arena, but in a professional arena. Are you kidding? And by the way, I love that arena. That's a great place to see a show because it's very good acoustically. It's a great place to see. Like, we went down for a hockey game around in early November. It was fantastic. Flyers won, but it was fantastic. What's going on? Matt, $250 to go see a college basketball game? Am I missing something in December?
An early December game at that. Not even a key conference game, and it's a neutral site when it's not even on campus.
What are we doing? Well, what we're not doing? We're not selling tickets, because I hear that the tickets for that. If you're planning on going down, I'd go down and go down outside, and I bet you could get in for a song. Pardon the pun. 865-200-5402. Are the Fountain City Ramblers playing? No, we've got a private party that day in Knoxville. We've got a private Christmas party we're playing at the Marble Hall. What's the bowling alley downtown, guys? What's that called? Maple Hall. We're playing tonight another private party over at the, what's that concert hall known as? Oh, God. It's beautiful. Great stage. What is that place called? Laurel text me, or Lancey will text me. We're playing a Christmas party tonight there for a corporate event. So in the meantime, you don't care about that, but 865-200-5402. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to get to some phone calls on the other side. Here's the thing about Nate Ament. They're not going to tell you that he's got a bum ankle, but he's got a bum ankle. I like Barnes because if a guy plays, and we've seen him do this in the past, and you go out on the court, he'll criticize you post-game, even though he knows you're out there nursing an ankle deal. These old school guys, they don't sell for injuries. The other thing is, we're in an era in sports now where you can second-guess everything, and it's all fair because these coaches are making a lot of money, and you as fans, they're asking a lot of you. So in my opinion, it's all fair to kind of second-guess, whatever. Your dime, your dance floor. Some are saying, and Dave is one of them, that Nate Ament, they should have taken that money and they should have given it to Rodney Rice as an off guard who can make shots and who's making shots this year. He's a good player. And you would have brought the backcourt from Maryland on a Sweet 16 team, on a ready-made team that already had a pretty good offensive line in the Vols. Look, that's certainly a school of thought that I'm open to. Because when you get a 5-star guy, unless it's that Boozer guy, unless they have the immediate impact, it's just like that football conversation. What are you going to do for me next year? We have teams now, not programs. It's a fair thing to wonder about. Now, some of you jumped all over Nate Ament the other night, and it's not fair because he was out there playing with a hurt ankle. Now, you can believe that or not believe that, Tony, they're not saying that. I don't care what they say. I've never cared what they say or don't say. I'm just telling you the skinny. Okay? Dave, people rip him because he's way too literal with every take, and it's blown to and fro. Like after the Houston game the other night, he was on here celebrating like the 7th game of the World Series, and you could hear the elation in his voice. And then the next night after Kansas, we suck. We suck. I'm like, which one is it? But the conversation about, is it worth it in this era, getting involved with a one-and-done guy, is very much worth having, Matt. To me, it's very much worth having, Matt, because those guys are not going to play their best ball for you unless they're like ready. And I think Tennessee thinks Ament's still going to play really high-level basketball, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not criticizing them taking him. I trust Barnes. Barnes loves him. Barnes thinks he's got and will play incredibly great basketball. But, man, he was hard coaching him the other night. He was getting after him, and he knows the guys out there kind of with a bum wheel, and they're still getting after him. But, Matt, it's an interesting discussion that we can have about these 5-star guys, and it's certainly worth talking about. Should you fool around with those dudes in this era?
Oh, no, absolutely. Especially with these rosters and the budgets there. But, if Barnes was so high on him that you kind of have to trust Barnes with what he's doing there.
Yep.
The track record is teams with the one-and-dones or teams that just rely on freshmen as key scorers don't go as far in March. And that's kind of you have to have veteran players, especially veteran guards, to win in March. And
yep.
And Ament doesn't really fit that mold, kind of a wing guy. Kevin Durant's team got beat by like 20 in the second round.
Yep.
But that's kind of the track record with a lot of the one and done types. But it's a discussion that's worth having. But you needed to figure out a way to get both of them. You had the McNeely kid from Louisville who kind of plays for them.
That was
kind
sad.
of a 2-guard catch and shoot guy. It'd be nice to have him. Obviously, I think he was the top choice over Rice, and would have been cheaper, but you just couldn't get him in the school for whatever reason. But it's worth talking about, and the track record is kind of what Dave says, that leaning on one and dones and just freshmen in general is not exactly a recipe to go deep in March.
If you can get the kid from Duke, obviously I'm all for that. And I'm not saying I'm not for Ament, but Ament's been uneven so far. Ament, if we're honest about it. But boy, he does show flashes sometimes where you watch him and you go, wow. To be that size and to be able to do what he does. The other thing you have to be mindful of, the NBA game and the college game are two different games. There's a lot more space. Alex and I were talking. Alex is a big Piston fan, and he's a hoops nut. And so when you hear Alex Myers here in the big chair, you're getting a guy that really loves and knows the sport. Alex is like, on a college floor, there's just not as much space. On an NBA floor, believe it or not, there's more space. The guys are incredible defenders. You don't believe that, but there is. But the game's designed with more space in mind, and the game's designed for guys immense size to be able to shoot the ball. And the college game it's more condensed. It's just a different version of the game. We'll come back on the other side. 865-200-5402. All lines jammed. More on the other side after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. 5th quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 Sips Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, They're Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
So we do have a Nashville affiliate, and shout out to my friends there as I welcome you back. I got to tell you that this is really fun and funny. So Vanderbilt's all of a sudden grown chest hair. They've grown chest hair. They're like a 13-year-old boy, and they woke up one morning, or 11-year, in my case, like a 9-year-old. I think I started shaving when I was like 8.5. But you ought to see one of my brothers. His beard is so heavy. Literally, you could take his face and like sand something down with it. But I digress. Matt, what's up with Vanderbilt? They're challenging the world now. All of a sudden, they've got chest hair. We've got people here in our YouTube chat, these Vanderbilt fans that I didn't know existed. I mean, all of a sudden they're down to tussle, and they want to come in and talk trash because they've won one game in like 45 years. And where did I miss something? I mean, I know we're in a microwave society, but they have like a microwave. It took them like 100 years to join the party here. What are we doing? And what are they doing, Matt? What is this bit they're doing here?
Well, I commend them for it because it's they're not making the playoffs. They're not really close, despite being a playoff caliber team, especially here at the end of the year. So they're doing the fake tough guy thing where they challenge anybody to play them anytime, anywhere deal, knowing that it's virtually impossible for any of that to actually happen. And if it were, they're playing as well as they can here at the end of the year, but they weren't good enough to win in Tuscaloosa and really got blown out in Texas. And I just think that the real thing that Vandy needs to ask is why it took, Pavia playing 3.5 years in that offense for him to figure out that he could throw the ball downfield. Because if they had their offense the last month of the year against Alabama or Texas, they'd probably win those games. But for some reason, Jerry Keel and Tim Beck, who get all the credit, they didn't have a downfield passing game until they found it by accident in the fourth quarter against Texas.
Clark Leah. I mean, look, where's Clark Leah? This Pavia guy. Here's the other thing. You're not playing this weekend, and you're not in the playoffs because you don't belong in the playoffs, and you're not a championship team. You could have finished in the top 2 with the schedule you have. You're not a championship team. Nobody owes you anything, Vandy. Nobody owes you anything. I mean, okay, you grew chest hair this year. So what? Now all of a sudden you just want to schedule an ad hoc game? I don't understand. And then we've got these people in our chat room. Well, you're afraid of Andy, and we're going to beat you in all sports. And you guys suck. You have a bowling program. Bowling is your sport. When we started caring about baseball, we took your lunch money. Your baseball stadium looks like a women's softball stadium. To use the lavatory in your baseball stadium, you got to walk 3/4 of a mile like you're at a bad music festival. What are you talking about? What are they doing? What are we doing? And what are you talking about? And you've got one damn player in the history of your school that could play a little bit. And his family was Johnny Trasho. And you have to deal with that in the Music City. His family lowered the standards. All those you said you believed in. All that stuff you hated on Tony Vitello for. All that's, we would never comport ourselves. And the minute you get one of him, you want to challenge the world. What's next? Vandy, what's next? Are you going to, I don't know, rent like a tank and show up outside Arthur Blank Stadium this weekend and demand that those two teams play you? Pavia in fatigues. Is that what's next? Is that what this has come to? Yeah, you got a nice little basketball coach. And yeah, Tim Corbin is, looks like a Swedish explorer / well, he looks, never mind. Could have made a women's basketball joke there, but I didn't. I don't know. I don't know, Matt. But these guys want an opponent this weekend. You know who
it's their best team ever.
Yeah.
Clark Lee probably knows it's their best chance to ever, have a playoff team or compete in it, and they're going to get left out. And so you might as well play this card because it gets you some points with your own fan base.
Back to the phones we go. They want to play somebody this weekend. One of the Cookie Crumble guy put up some money. Them and BYU. Oh, I'm sorry. BYU's busy this weekend, Vandy. See, they have a championship game they're going to play in. Go down there and crash the dome, man. Make it official. Take your brothers and Pavia, put them on a float or on the back of a truck like they used to do in the old NWO days, and go down there with a bullhorn.
Maybe they can play Penn State and their 2 recruits.
Yep.
The James Franklin Bowl.
I like how if you got to use the lavatory, Brian, you got to walk 3/4 of a mile when you're at the baseball game. Oh! Let's go to the phones and get our next call in. You're on the air. Hi.
Hey, fellas.
What's up, Russ?
So you got a lot of Vandy fans in your mentions?
Oh yeah.
So, how long until Summerall gets it going and those same fans are back cheering for Florida?
Interesting.
I don't want to give those folks any more attention than they deserve, which is 0. About the same amount of attention the playoff committee's giving them. Thank you, Tony, for saying what you said about if you had to choose between Legend Bay and 2 guys that have proven they can play college football, that can play safety for us. Appreciate that, because that's factual. Now, having said that, Legend Bay is one of the guys you definitely wouldn't have told no thank you to in this recruiting class. He clearly is a guy that Ohio State coveted heavily in a bunch of other big time schools. Those are guys you definitely take out of high school.
Yep.
But we're taking 13 3-stars, and 8 to 10 of those are never going to play college football at Tennessee.
What we don't know, Rusty, is what are those guys costing you, though? Right? That's the ultimate question.
That's the really question.
Some are getting
how much
next
are they
to nothing.
costing you? But we're paying something. Not a single kid in this recruiting class is coming to Tennessee for free right now.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Last year we signed 26 or 27.
Yep.
And 7 of the guys played football for us. And I mean really played football for us.
Yep.
And really only 5 were like all-time contributors. Like, and I'm including Perlotti in that, who probably played 40% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Redmond contributed all the time.
Yep.
You're taking all these high school guys and 15% of them are going to play as freshmen.
Yep.
And you got Indiana and Texas Tech going in the portal and still recruiting 15 to 20 guys out of high school, but they're going and getting 10 to 12 to 15 guys out of the portal that come in and play immediately. And as you said, it is a team, not a program.
Yeah,
there may be a little coincidence that suddenly we have our best recruiting class in forever and as high as we've been in the SEC in forever. Maybe the other big programs have figured out that your high school recruiting class, while still important, it isn't as important as it used to be. And nobody's given the message to the people over there on campus in Knoxville.
Matt, is that a possibility? You think that some of the other big programs are just allocating their resources elsewhere?
Well, you're sandwiched in those recruiting rankings in between the 2 teams playing in Atlanta this weekend. Again, there's so many different ways to attack this now, whether you want to focus on high school recruiting or go all in on portal stuff. There's not, Tennessee obviously is very heavy in the high school recruiting, maybe a little too much. I agree with Rusty that there's some truth there. The problem is when you lean so much on the high school stuff, you've got to have that stuff pay off eventually down the road, but it's got to be a lot quicker than it used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we've seen those returns yet. And we were, the youngest team in the league last year or this year.
And we'll be this
year. And we're
year.
probably going to be one of the younger teams again next year.
Yeah.
And that's fine and all if you can, you go 8-4, 9-3, but at some point you have to take that next step and those players have to play for you.
Timothy McGee said in a super chat here, Rusty, that we're always moving the bar. Are we moving the bar here?
No, I'm fine with however many kids we take out of high school. We just need to be getting 10, 12, 15 guys out of the portal too that can come give us minutes immediately. And we're not competing there at the level. Clearly, there's 3 teams in the playoffs that are also rans, never thought ofs, that are either right on the cusp like Vanderbilt or that are comfortably in like Texas Tech and Indiana, that are doing it by going and getting portal guys that can play immediately and contribute. And they were the 3-star guys that didn't get recruited by big programs, but they can play, and we've seen them play in college, even if it's at a lower level.
It's almost like it's 2 different sports, right? With the approaches of some of these teams, and the team that figures out how to mix the 2. The thing about Heupel that's really interesting is that in one sense you could say, boy, he must be feeling the heat, a top 5 class. In the other sense, you would think, boy, he must not be feeling the heat because they signed so many guys. And I don't know where the truth lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a happy medium. I just feel like last year, for sure, last offseason, we didn't go in the portal enough. And you said it, and I pushed back on the idea that we didn't go after it enough. But we clearly should not have been so much younger than everybody else. It's all it was talked about is we're the youngest team in the SEC by a wide margin. That just tells you we didn't get enough of older dudes that can play. Anyway, the basketball team, I think the fast break thing that you guys were talking about, we're giving up, is because we're being so stubborn with being a too big team.
Yep.
And that is giving up really bad court balance when long rebounds happen. You got Carey and Okpara and Phillips. Those guys are under the offensive basket, and you're getting tons and tons of runouts. When over the last 5 years, we've been a 4-out basketball team, and it's got court balance off. And also what it did, went back and watched Syracuse this morning when I first got up just for wanting to see if I thought what my eyes told me during the game was true. Ament beat his guy off the dribble on 6 separate occasions and got to the paint, and 6 times Okpara's man met him 4 feet from the basket. There's too much of a clog up in the lane when a Mint's getting there because we are crowding the paint. Okpara is shooting the three-pointer well enough that whenever you spread the court, if you would take him out of the paint and take his defender away, a Mint would be finishing a lot more at the rim and be a lot more of a, what's the term Dave used? He would be a lot more of an efficient scorer if he wasn't running into whoever's. The big number 42 for Syracuse the other night was just always in the way because Okpara was in there in the way himself.
It's interesting. It's going to be, and look, it's why you play these games. I appreciate the call. It's why you play these games, because if you don't play those games, you're not going to know those things about yourself, and you can't make those adjustments. People don't want to hear this, but the Syracuse game's not about December. It's not about thrilling everybody in December. It's about a process. It's about where can we be at the end of the year, because we already know we're in the tournament. I'm going to just take a little bit of the fun out of it for you. We're not trying to qualify for the tournament. We're trying to win in the tournament. This guy's gone to 2 Elite Eights. I trust him. I trust him. Trust and verify. I trust the guy. And I verify. But yeah, I mean, look, we got, they fast break pointed us like 18-0 the other night. You're not going to win basketball games like that. So we're not getting easy scores, and we're not getting easy scores in our half court. And I just looked at something here that I want to share with you on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, because the two model programs in the sport in terms of the transfer portal signed a few more players than we would have thought they would have signed, or did they? We'll ask about that, and we'll continue our conversation. In the meantime, I love you. I appreciate you. It's been incredible. You being with me, me being with you on the radio side. We'll continue our conversation at tclub.team. The playbook with William Pattison is on the way next. That's a young man that I'm extremely high on. I love William, his cast and crew, followed by Dubsy and Dubsy Mania. We love you. Appreciate you.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And I went a little long with things, but I want to come back on the other side, get some more calls in, and I'm going to get a brief timeout in here. We'll continue after this.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved, and will go the extra mile for you, because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Cold weather is on its way, and keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't have to cost a fortune. Upgrade your HVAC system with Pipe Wrench Home Services and get payments as low as $137 per month. You'll also save on utility bills with a new energy-efficient HVAC system to keep your home warm and comfortable through the holidays. We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online today at pipewrench.com. And get a new energy-saving HVAC system for as little as $137 per month. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Yours truly, Antonio Basilio, back with you. I want to look at Indiana's approach in this cycle. Before I do that, though, the CEO of my Tennessee Smokies joining me. He's got himself a new title. Chris Allen, I love you, man. I love what you do for the community. I love how you stand with the Amachi kids each year and your contribution to that tailgate. And I love you and I love your show like folks have told me before. Well, I don't know if I hear that much, but I love you and I love your show, Chris Allen.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. We love you too.
Chris, we're bringing you on at the holiday season. There's got to be a special reason. You guys have lit it up downtown. First of all, it's lit in the ballpark in the summer. But as the kids like to say, it's really lit now, my friend. Tell me what we're doing at the ballpark here.
Yeah, obviously it's our first year, and our goal is to stay relevant in the community and give back and prove to everyone it is a multi-use facility over there. So we have a light show starting up this weekend. We actually have a media night tonight, and then it gets kicked off tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And we got over 1.5 million lights in our ballpark lit up to music, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the community's going to like it, and hopefully it creates new traditions for families.
1.5 million lights. So describe this. Like, is this a thing where you walk through the whole ballpark onto the infield, the whole deal? Talk to me here.
Yeah, when you walk in, you're come up the grand stairwell or take the VIP elevator up to the main concourse. You can walk all the way around the facility like you can at a ball game. We have lights going on all throughout the seating bowl, the field, you name it. Everywhere you turn, you're going to see lights dancing and jumping around to holiday music, Christmas music playing throughout the facility. You can actually go down to the field and walk around the warning track as well to take a different view of the facility. We have a train that we bought the kids can take a ride on and go around the ballpark and see it. There's kids and moms and dads too as well. We also will have cookie making stations where you can decorate them, and you can write letters to Santa. You can actually see Santa. Santa will be at the ballpark as well, so you can come over there. Kids can give them their Christmas wish list, and hopefully they get what they want as long as you're good kids this year.
Well, if anything like my kids growing up, coal in the stocking, coal in the stocking for Anthony. But hey, Chris, so how can folks just walk up the day of the deal and just purchase tickets? How does that work?
You can pre-purchase at smokiesbaseball.com, or you can walk to the box office. Tickets are a flat $10, so you really can't beat the price to come in and see. I mean, where else are you going to see this many lights for that price?
I agree with that. You say 1.5 million lights?
It is, yes. It's well, I shouldn't say that. It's 1.2 to 1.7, but I just say 1.5. That's kind of the happy medium. It's well over 1 million lights.
How lay it on me here? How do you when you start talking about this versus what we saw last year? Because I was telling Matt about what you're doing off the air. How does it compare to what we were used to at the ballpark in Sevierville? Can you, for those that are just kind of curious there?
Well, it's the old ballpark. You had to drive through our parking lot to see there, and that was something a few years ago. Shadrick's did a wonderful job with that light show, and they still have that light show going on at Soaky Mountain, and I think they've got it at other places as well. But with that one, you basically sit in your car and ride around. Here, you get out, you walk around. We'll have concessions, hot chocolate, eggnog, you name it. We'll have a s'mores station where kids can make s'mores. We're looking into doing some movie nights as well.
Nice.
With some holiday movies, and really get you in the spirit of things.
Because tonight we're playing downtown at a Christmas party right around the corner from your building. What's that concert hall called that's right there downtown? I keep forgetting what it's really nice in there. God, why does that escape me?
Which one are you talking about?
The really beautiful concert hall down there. Is it the Standard? The something? Anyway, we're playing that song, speaking of Christmas songs and Christmas movies. Kaliki Yaki Yaki is the da-da-da-da, ba-ba, that Hawaiian Christmas song. I don't even know I just know the chords to the songs. But do you remember that? Merry, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas.
Yes, I do. I do. I love that song.
See,
you guys should come play at our ballpark.
Well, I mean, Chris Allen, I love you. You're my man. If folks want more information, how do they do it?
Just go to smokiesbaseball.com and you can see everything you want to see about it. We're excited. It's a lot of work. My guys have worked their tail off the last 16 days to get this facility ready.
Yes.
We had soccer right up to the middle of the month, and those guys won a championship. So what an amazing year they had. But pushing that season out that far really got us into crunch time for the light show. But my guys were up for the task, and we're excited, man. So come out and see us.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm at the Mill and Mine. The great Bob Baskerville just reminded me.
the Mill and Mine, a great place.
Which is a beautiful spot. That is a beautiful spot, man.
It really is.
All apologies to the Mill and Mine. When you're on the air 5.5 hours after a Vanderbilt game like that, you lose some brain cells, and I'm trying to, they say your body, recycles things. I'm hoping to get something back in my gray matter. We'll see what happens.
I hear you, man. Hey, thank you guys for having me on today, and come see us.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you.
You too. Bye.
865-200-5402. And so TGMD, Brian Hartman, you guys let me know. By the way, great post from Hewitt Pruitt, who says, W. Lynn thinks that in football and basketball, we need to recruit more in the gray, Matt, in this new era. Any Civil War references that people work in are, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, about Rodney Rice has been pretty insane at USC, and his numbers are way up this year, and Lee's reminding me that his usage rate has been very high because they have a guy that we wanted as off guard playing point guard. So there you have it. But his price in the aftermarket shot through the roof, and the Rodney Rice discussion, unless Ament really picks it up and becomes, a no doubt about it guy, we're going to have another discussion of whether or not we should have bought him and paid over $3 million for him, which is what Tennessee did. I think it was close to $4 million actually, but whatever. In this era of sport, you can have those discussions. They're fair discussions. It's going to drive these coaches crazy that fans are going to criticize their every move, but like Sean Sinclair said the other night about these coaches, compared to when he was inside the guts of Tennessee's program, what a head coach does now, or what a lot of these coaches do now, is being done for them by somebody else. That's the truth. I mean, Philip Fulmer used to have to get on an airplane and fly before signing day, the closing of signing day. He'd fly 20,000, 40,000, 100,000, 20,000. He'd fly 100,000 miles. I mean, it's a totally different deal now. What is it? Meli Kikiyama is the...
Meli Kalikimaka, I think.
Say it, Bri. Say it.
Meli Kalikimaka, I think.
Sing it to me.
I can't do that, but I mean, it's Meli Kalikimaka.
Meli Kalikiyaka is the banana.
Hey, maybe W. Lynn can recreate the blue-gray game and invite Vanderbilt to play in that this weekend.
Courtside seats, Matt, by the promoters down there started at $500. I mean, what are we doing, Matt, down there in the Illinois game? Are people paying that for a college basketball game, Matt?
I mean, I'm sure some are, but I wouldn't think it's some hard sellout if those are the prices. And I mean, anything over $100 for an early December basketball game on a neutral site is kind of ridiculous. It doesn't matter who's playing in it.
Absolutely. Does Nico?
That's like Super Bowl stuff.
Can Nico sing that? You think Kaliki Kakiyaka is the no? Can Nico? You guys think Nico knows the words to that? Think he's ever sung that growing up, or you think that's kind of a fugazi?
Maybe you and Big
song?
Nick get together and work on a duet or something, singing it.
Matt, does Nico end up with a half next year, or is he in the NFL? What do you think happens to Nico?
I'm not sure he's with the have. I don't know. I'm kind of curious what happens with him.
Me too.
If he is forced, if he kind of is led to take the NFL route where he'd probably test really well at the combine, and some team would probably take a flyer on him late in the draft, like 5th round or so. I don't know what the market would be for him because it might be unfair to him, but what happened to him was kind of made him an unserious quarterback. So I'm not sure any kind of serious program would take a long look at bringing him in.
Yeah, it was. I agree with you. A couple guys entered the portal that you might want to watch. I'm not saying Tennessee's tied to these guys. But as our boy Transfer Dave sees them come into the portal, he puts them on my radar like the quarterback at Old Dominion. I'm not saying the Vols are linked to him. By the way, the kid from Cincinnati, the starting quarterback, his parents live in Knoxville now. They just moved from Texas. Now, I don't know whether we moved him here. I don't know. I have no idea. But South Alabama starting safety Ty Goodwill plans to enter the transfer portal. 6'3", 200-pound safety, 43 tackles, 8 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 4 TFLs through 2 seasons. And for those of you that like Pro Football Hocus Pocus Focus, he had an 80.7 coverage grade. An 80.7 coverage grade with 2 years of eligibility left. North Carolina linebacker Kamori House has had enough of the hoodie. So Kamori House is looking for a new home. Plans to enter the transfer portal per his agency, the AP Sports Agency. Good God, what have we done to college football? House led the Tar Heels with 81 tackles, 2 TFLs, and interception after transferring from Washington in the offseason. He's a nice player. He's a nice player. We get a guy like him, we'll turn him into an electric football player, Matt. He won't know whether to wind his watch or scratch his ass, as they say in the trade. Yeah. Anthony just invited us to do a family outing at the Christmas Festival at Smoky Stadium. Thanks, Ant. Appreciate you listening. Are you a big Pro Football Hocus? Are you a Pro Football Focus guy, Matt?
No. There's some usefulness there, but no. We went over this with Garantano. A lot of that stuff, like, there's no way for them to accurately grade players on every team across the country for, like, every down when they don't really know what the players are supposed to do on every play. Like, a lot of that is, I mean, there's some good use for it, but I mean, being hard, fast, and living and dying with every Pro Football Focus grade is silly.
Back to the phones we go. Hello.
Have you heard who James Madison is looking at to be their next coach?
Have you heard the news? There's good rocking at midnight. No. Who's James Madison looking at?
Billy Napier. It was fun while it lasted.
Sun Belt. Billy's back in the Sun Belt.
He's back together again, brah. They're athletic.
So I guess whoever made all those James Madison hires a few years ago isn't doing it anymore.
What a great line. Let's go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. What's up? It's Richard.
Richard, are you a big Pro Football Hocus Focus guy? Pocus Focus.
No. It's impossible for a group of guys evaluating film that has no idea what the play call is from the coaches to know who's supposed to be where.
Thank you.
On any one time.
That's absolutely idiotic. Thank you.
Yes. No, it's impossible. That'd be like me. That's like me watching Tennessee film myself and saying, well, boy, he missed that or whatever. But again, I don't know the play call. I'm not on the practice field. There's things that I don't have the privy to know, and so you make your best guess. But yeah, there's some things it's easy for them to understand. You can see an offensive lineman miss a block because he gets beat inside or something like that. That's not difficult because he tried to cut off that gap or something, but he failed. Well, okay, there's a few things like that, but for the most part, it's really hard to do that. So, yeah. Take it for what it's worth. Now, recruiting-wise, Tony, thank you for the plug a little bit yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
As you started your X thing. And what I did tell you last week about our recruiting, just based off of the recruiting guys, especially the 247, that our high school recruiting was right there, pound for pound with Georgia and the rest of the league in the top schools. And whether that's right or wrong, or others may not agree with that, I was just simply stating to where the recruiting guys were at and what we're bringing in the high school ranks, which is an outstanding class of football players, especially top-heavy in blue-chip players. Your top 15 kids do, like Ryan Callahan was on your show earlier, was saying, we got 15 high-rated kids that everybody in the country would love to have on the roster. And so I think it was a good day yesterday. I think, did Tennessee probably take 3 or 4 or 5 rural athletic kids that need to develop? Sure, they did. And so you can agree that maybe they went a little top heavy on some things, but this is where I'm going to disagree with Rusty. Rusty's trying to make this all about 100% about the portal with a little bit of high school recruiting. Well, you may compete to get into the playoffs, all right, with a lot of portal recruiting. You're right there on the cusp trying to get in. But let me tell you, Tony, you are not going to win the national championship with portal recruiting. You're going to win that with your foundation being your elite high school kids that come through your program, like Ohio State does, like Georgia does, and Oregon. There's only a few programs that truly have that depth of young talent that's developing that can win it all. And those are the teams that's going to win the championship. You can get in. And to make my case, here's the greatest example. Lane Kiffin is a portal king, right? He portaled at Ole Miss for the last 2 years, didn't get in last year through the portal. This year he got his team in there, but he left. Why did he go to LSU? He went to LSU, Tony, because he understands that. He wants to win a national championship. And to win a national championship, you got to be at a school that can bring in 15 studs out of the high school rank, develop them, and then supplement that with your portal guys. And he knew he couldn't get that done at Ole Miss. So just trying to act like we can just go just portal, and we're going to compete for a championship. It ain't going to happen, Tony. It's got to start at the high school ranks, and then you build out from there.
You know, it's a really great point you bring. Because the easy thing to say is that an Ole Miss, because they have the budget now, you can compete for a national championship there, but that obviously is not believed in the sport. If you look at who they just hired as their head coach after Lane Kiffin left, you know what I mean? That obviously is, and you also bring up a good point. The thing that's interesting here, though, is that it's all about timing, right? And will our fan base, if we go out and throw up a 7-5 next year and lose 3 or 4 games in Neyland Stadium, which, by the way, could happen, will our fan base then say, oh, well, he had a good recruiting class? Or will the administration do that? It just seems like we're in such a microwave era, Richard. I wonder if people are going to be patient and let these guys develop programs anymore.
Tony, I can't answer that. I think a lot of it would depend on exactly what happens with the young players and how you see and what happens on the field. And a lot of it happens what we do in the portal this year to supplement the roster. Do we go get 8 kids? And, you know, to me, you got to go in swinging, you know, at certain positions to where you got to have starters. You need a safety, like you said. We need a defensive tackle or 2. We need a cornerback. We need a quarterback. You know, to me, those are the glaring needs of strengthening your roster with the young kids that you can go out there and win a lot of games with it next year.
Yeah.
But as far as just, you know, completely developing, it's kind of hard because, you know, the Georgias and Ohio States had one thing going ahead of this portal thing. They already had full, deep rosters of all these high school kids, and so therefore they're not having to build it like Heupel is coming off all the probation. So they already had that, you know, in place, and so did Alabama. You know, they already had all those tons of kids, and so, you know, people didn't have to wait for them because they were already through the pipeline. We're having to build it through the pipeline. But again, to win, if it's all about national championships, then it's about, again, high school development of these blue chip players that you're getting, and then supplementing with the portal, and then you got a chance to win it all. Because here's the point: there's only one Kurt Signetti to me right now in the coaching profession. To me, Tony, that guy, pound for pound, is the best head coach, period, in college football. He ain't going nowhere. So trying to act like that we can fire a coach or we can do better, you better, you know, that don't happen. It's kind of like Nick Saban rule, right? There was no other Nick Saban until who came along? Kirby, you know, and so, you know, Kurt Signetti is I give the guy credit, man, what he's doing with that roster and how they're developing those kids. Again, but you think that Kurt Signetti blueprint is going to be good at a lot of schools because who really is that coach?
Amen to that. Thank you, brother. The thing about Kurt Signetti is, and this is another thing, is he wasn't Kurt Signetti till they brought him to Indiana. He was the guy that I won a lot of money on gambling because I saw that they were hammering people, but I never dreamed in a million years that he would get the Indiana job, take like a third of his players with him, Matt, and go out and go 10-2 last year with a quarterback that I believe was a transfer from the MAC.
Do you know who interrupted North Dakota State's title run, though, at the FCS level?
Oh, I watched it.
It was Kurt Signetti and James Madison.
Hell yeah, I watched it. You better believe it. On a cold, wintry night up there in James Madison Stadium, that was a great. When he was there, their run was incredible, man. But he was. I wonder how many young coaches are out there, and he's not even a young coach. But I wonder how many unknown coaches are out there that are better than some of these bums that are getting recycled.
I thought Leopold was pretty good when they got him at Kansas, but he's nowhere near the same stratosphere as Signetti is.
Yep.
And I wonder if Kansas is just that much harder to do that with than Indiana would be. But Indiana wasn't believed to be anything you could win it either.
No. And it was believed that Signetti would get out of there the minute the Penn State job came and people were like, well, he'll go there. Signetti's like, why? Why would I go there? Well, I mean, you started, you're from there and you're kind of from that area and you're Italian. And you know what would have been funny, Matt? If Penn State would have hired that guy that looked like that Kim Yu guy that missed that kicked his foot into the ground the other night on Monday Night Football. No offense to that guy, that Sataki guy. But that guy at Penn State would have been, I mean, you talk about a fish out of water.
Well, that's about how their coaching search is going right now.
Yeah, but that guy?
It would have been a very odd fit.
Oh, my
gosh. It would have been interesting to see how that goes.
He would have been 2 years at best, man. So, and what do you think of what W. Linsbreath saying on here that Jimmy Section has heat with Penn State, and he's put the kibosh on them, the hex of the sex hex, if you will.
I mean, there may be some truth to that they, got rid of Franklin when they shouldn't have.
The kibosh. He put the kibosh on.
W. Linsbreath has proven to be a very astute YouTube chatter.
No question. Makes me giggle. Back to the phones we go. I'm not sure who's beating Ohio State anytime soon for the national championship either. Matt, are the other 11 teams runaround cars in this thing, or is somebody going to get Ohio State in this thing?
I mean, about half the playoff field is kind of runaround cars. I don't know. This weekend will be interesting against Indiana. I mean, Ohio State blew them out last year, but Indiana's significantly better. And Ohio State's probably a little bit better, but I mean, it'll be a pretty big upset if Ohio State doesn't win the national title again. There's just not. I mean, I don't know who could really beat them. I mean, I guess Georgia has the talent. They could, in theory, play with them, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think Alabama's good enough. They're too one-dimensional in the passing game to do it, and I'm not sure Bama can cover Ohio State.
Come on.
So, I mean, if Notre Dame gets the running game going, and who knows?
Brian.
They're never going to lose another game. They'll never even allow another point. Come on now.
Brian, what'd you think of Negative?
Greatest team of all time.
What'd you think of Negative having the audacity, and I do mean audacity, to call our football call-in show special and allegedly resign as a basketball caller? Now, I seen some ish in my day, Bri, but that is some ish right there. And there's a guy over here saying, let's see here, Tinker 77, Legend Bay posting on Twitter that he doesn't want to come to Tennessee. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. You might be falling under the spell of a fake account. There's a lot of fakes and frauds and fakey frauds in the world, like Taylor Swift once said. The fakey frauds and the frauds and the frauds. Let's go back to our phones. On a day where I'm playing the Mill of Mine, man, tonight. That's going to be fun. Setting up with Lancey at 5 o'clock. God, that's right around the corner. I got to get off and work on the blog and do some other things. Matt, what am I still doing on here? Does anybody enjoy it as much as I do? Matt, does anybody enjoy it as much as I do? Just being a complete simpleton?
No. I don't know of anyone, no.
No.
You know, Vandy's trying to do what they proposed about these playoff playing games instead of the SEC championship game, where you had like SEC 3 versus 6.
Yep, that's what Vandy wants.
Something like that.
Yep,
that's what Vandy wants to do.
Yep. Their own deal. They're running their own gimmicks down there now. Here's my question, right? 3 years from now, Matt, buying or selling or trading Vanderbilt football as a stock, Matt, do they come crashing down? Are they in their housing bubble right now? Is this 2008 for Vanderbilt? Are they in the housing bubble?
Yeah, I don't think they'll have another 10-win regular season. No. I mean, they're going to wind up winning a bowl game, so that'll be 11. They'll be 11-2. That'll be the high water mark for sure.
And by the way, this Legend Bay guy, if that's even close to true, you can still have a goofy recruitment in the modern era, even in the NIL recruitment. And Sean, that thing Sean said several years ago is so right, Matt, isn't it? When you have a goofy recruitment, a lot of times you have a goofy career.
Absolutely. And that guy seems to be kind of a head case, which means that's going to be a locker room distraction. I think you're better off without him.
I love his name's Legend. I mean, is that his Christian name? Like, the kid comes out of the womb and his mom goes,
"There's a guy named Legend who calls Feinbaum."
Yeah, but that's not his name, Brian. Come on now.
He calls himself that.
Well, Brian. Okay. Florida calls himself Florida. Is Florida's name Florida?
Yes.
I mean, some people call me Tony Love. Is that my name?
Butch Jones and Arkansas State are going to the first Xbox Bowl on December 18th, where they'll play Missouri State.
Some people call me Maurice. Let's go to the phones.
The Xbox Bowl?
The Xbox Bowl. That's the name of the new
This ought to be good, Matt. Go ahead.
No, that's really fitting for Butch Jones.
No question. Because he belongs in a damn video game where you can take his face and brighten it up, brighten his hue. Back to the phones we go. Hi, you're in
Brian, his real name's not Butch either.
Say, Brian? He wanted to style his hair after Butch Patrick from the Munsters, and he looks just like him. Lyle Butch Jones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. Dave.
There he is. Dave, how you doing, man?
Football call. We return, signing the 28 freshmen.
Yep.
Include them with the freshmen and the redshirt freshmen. 67 freshmen and redshirt sophomores for next year.
Woo! Now, redshirt sophomores, those are third-year players, though, right?
There's a few sprinkled in there.
Okay.
But mostly we're a freshman and sophomore laden team.
Question becomes, if you don't get copacetic amount of guys out of the portal, right, and you struggle a little bit next year, does the fan base and does the administration say, yeah, your team's young? So it's a great question because I don't know. We're in a microwave society now, man.
He's going to have to run off some of these guys that are never going to contribute. He's just going to have to. I mean, I know that stuff. That's not the right thing to do sometimes, but he's going to have to make some hard decisions. These are our returning seniors right now.
Yep.
Davion Hobbs, who some say he wants to go. He's done with college.
Yes.
Arian Carter, T-Lander, Herring, Lance Hurd is gone. He's going to the NFL. Grant, an offensive lineman, never played. Moy, starting offensive line. That Schnell kid who's never going to play. And the other two are both kickers and punters.
And those are the third-year guys?
Those are our seniors for next year.
Oh, seniors. Yeah. So that team is going to be – so, Matt, what that says to me is they've got to know, right, that they've got to go get veteran players. And Sean made a great point yesterday. You don't have to go and get, like, these knockout, real expensive guys. The Peelys of the world, that Peely guy, Matt, if he didn't get hurt, was going to make a tremendous impact here. In fact, he already did make a tremendous impact.
Correct.
You don't have to go
Hood
crazy.
Was kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Wendell Moe, Jackson Moy, those guys aren't high-level portal guys,
right.
But they're solid starters for you and maybe even above-average SEC players. So, yeah, you don't have to get the shiny object, but you got to get the right players that fit what you want to do.
Dave, how many would you sign?
Oh, he's got to sign 15. Minimum. You just have to. We only have one defensive lineman that weighs 300 pounds returning. And that's Nathan Robinson.
I think I like Dave as a basketball caller better. You're bumming me out right now, man.
He's just going to have to. That's way too many freshmen and sophomores.
Dave, how do you think we perform against Illinois?
Like I said, that's way too many freshmen and sophomores.
Dave, you can't commit to the bit like that, man. Come on now. Brent CTUV just said you're in here cooking. You're cooking right now, man. You're cooking. How about the fact that Illinois team can't shoot the ball, Dave? Does that concern you?
Here's my last take on that. Tony, we should have spent the money differently than we did. And that's all I'm going to say.
Dave, thank you. You're a punk and a clown, if not anything else. But I love you. And, Matt, how about him sticking to the bit? How long will that last, Matt, till we can flush him out with a hoops call? Saturday night? Is he on the hold?
Post-game Illinois.
Yeah. Dave, your passion.
I'll be on hold at halftime. Maybe even first media timeout of the game.
That is such a level of intelligence to be able to imitate somebody like that. I just can't do imitations, man. I just cannot do it.
Brian, were you upset with the Lady Vols last night, despite them winning at Stanford, who's kind of a blue blood in that sport?
Blue blood. It's Lady Vols' first win there in like 5 tries, Bri. Queen Kimmy reigning supreme.
It was kind of an ugly. It was kind of an ugly game to watch.
On her throne.
Offensively, it was not either team was not not something that Picasso would paint.
Queen Kimmy.
But I love Queen Kimmy though.
Reigning supreme on her throne. Brian, any football games tonight? Shep Hardo?
Just the prime game on NFL. It's Dallas and Detroit.
Damn. Did you guys see the rating that Dallas and the Kansas City Chiefs did? They had like 60 million people watching it or some crazy thing like that. I mean, imagine if the NFL had a good product. How many people would watch it? Because it's an okay product. I mean, they've hoodwinked America. I give the NFL a lot of credit because you can't turn that damn Sports Center on during the day, Matt, without them talking about either the Dallas Cowboys or the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Cowboys are literally one game over 500.
New York Yankees.
And they act like, no, the Yankees are so much more interesting than the damn Cowboys, Brian. The Cowboys are a boy band. Mr. Tubbs, when are you going to give Dak Prescott credit, Tony? I'll tell you when I'm going to give him credit. When you win a damn game that matters. Regular season NFL, dude, are you kidding me? How about you win in the playoffs, man? How about for once in your life you get to like an NFC championship game? Chief, When are you going to get credit, Charity? How about I'm not? Because you know what? You guys are not a serious franchise. When are you get credit? Shit. We played in 3 Super Bowls in the last 7 years. How about y'all? How about y'all, man? I mean, you know what you're going to do, real Mr. Tubbs? No offense to you, because I love you and I love your show. By the way, Matt, why aren't they traveling with the basketball team anymore? I know they had a little heat. Have they repaired that, or are they still not at the basketball? What's happening?
I haven't seen them behind the bench down there. I don't know if they're still making those trips. They went to a lot of the baseball road series last year. I know that.
Yep. I haven't seen him at all on hoops in the travel thing. I think they had a little falling out. Okay, let's go back here. Mr. Tubbs. Mr. Tubbs, you've won more Super Bowls than the Eagles. Okay, Mr. Tubbs, question for you. Since the smartphone has been invented, how many playoff wins do you have? This Tony Romo guy that gets paid all this money to talk and says nothing because he played for the Cowboys. I wish he would have played for somebody else because he blows on television. No offense. I mean, what are you talking about, man? The Cowboys are a boy band. Y'all are menudo. Y'all exist to sell jerseys and trinkets and get sponsorships and line Jerry Jones's leather-faced pocket. You guys suck. You suck. You're a never was. Back to the phones we go. All your highlights exist on grainy video, Shepard. Do something in the HDTV8, not to be confused with Home and Garden Television, but in the high definition TVH. I mean, y'all are so unserious, no offense, that you've got your backup quarterback is our guy, Big Joe. I mean, what are you talking about? Well, you give Dak Prescott credit. I'm never going to give Dak Prescott credit. He sucks. He was throwing into triple coverage the other day. Go! Hello? Romo's insightful. Nick Jackson said maybe to you. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Hi, you're on the air. Let's try this again. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in. All right. Good call. All right, welcome in. That person just flat out hung up on us, Matt. Now, that was disrespectful before we go back to the phones.
Very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. You can go claim your VIP Play Welcome bonus. First bet, $20. You get $100 in bonus bets. If you'd have listened to me last night, Flyers cash that ticket against my Buffalo Sabres. They're not my Sabres. That was a rough watch. But I added to the cachet, so to speak. The promo code is TNTony. Phrase that pays. Live always 200-plus leagues. Bri, what's the line tonight with the Cowgirls and my Detroit Lions, who I love? If the Eagles fall out of it, I want to see the Lions ascend, but the Lions aren't playing great football. What do you got, Bri? What's the line tonight?
I think Detroit's -3 in versus Dallas. Detroit -3.
Detroit -3 in Dallas.
Yes.
I will take the Lions to cover. How about you, Bri?
Yeah, I can go along with that.
Although I will say this, the Cowboys defense has been playing much better after their 2 acquisitions at the trade deadline. 200 leagues, live always, all kinds of footy to bet on, tennis, golf, you name it. Numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you can't find it, but it's a compliant event type in the state of Tennessee, they got you covered. over at VIP Play, where everybody gets treated like a V to the I to the P. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And by the way, we're going to be live tomorrow over at the Corner 16 on Middlebrook Pike. Is this supposed to snow here tonight, guys? Or was I seeing things? Y'all seen that?
Of Knoxville.
Do what, Matt? We might have done some school. Yeah.
I think most of that's going to be north of Knoxville. Then, like Brian said, the higher elevations.
Does it dictate school closings tomorrow or no? Inclement weather closings?
Josh Heupel's next fresh idea.
Good. You could have a lot of fun with that.
Josh Heupel's next fresh idea is on a permanent delay.
The Baton Rouge hot yoga class is on its regularly scheduled.
And Lane Kiffin's nooner. Matt, I got to send you some stuff on that, brah. This Kiffin guy.
Juice Kiffin's next photo op at Vaught Hemingway is on.
How could
he really had a fake Twitter account for a dog?
For a fake dog.
That's incredible.
For a fake dog.
Absolutely incredible.
Matt, you and I being animal lovers, do you have any time for a guy that would turn a dog back in after it got hit by a car and it had another injury? No offense to him.
Oh, it probably made the dog's life better, so.
You imagine Lane.
He was only here like 9 months, and there were so many stories that came out. I mean, he was in Oxford for 6 years. So those stories that could potentially come out there are kind of incredible.
And he's one of those guys that has no barrier in his brain for that decision making.
He's a sociopath.
Oh! Juice's pet daycare is closed. Let's go to the phones. I still get Juice and Deuce confused, which is just my little bit. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, man? It's Lee.
Golly, what's up, man?
How much, man? Are you bragging on the Cowboys? You're so jealous, man. Eagles suck. The Cowboys beat you. You're crying.
Well, the Cowboys are still do have to win in the playoffs. You'll have to admit that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They made me money in the last 2 weeks. I'm on them again tonight. We'll see.
I don't blame you. Because that Lion team is not playing well either. They've lost their Jomo or something. Well, they lost too many players on defense.
It's amazing what happens when Campbell is 0 for 7 on his last fourth down BS calls that he goes for when he doesn't convert those. You don't win. It's crazy.
Well, in the Eagle game, right, he got totally in his own way. They gave the Eagles like 10 points in that game just for being a horse's ass. I mean, at some point, punt the football, man.
Yeah. I don't know. No, I'll play the Cowboys. They're playing really well right now. Defense is much better. And
yep.
Those receivers are pretty insane, man. Like, you can throw into triple coverage when you got Pickens and CD Lamb, man, because most of the time they're going to catch them. But anyway.
Yep.
Let's just blow the basketball program up, man. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Negative.
Can't construct a roster. I don't have any damn shooters.
I mean, what do these people want, dude?
I don't know, man. Like, look, here's the thing. If you don't have bigs in, like, today's college basketball, you're going to get absolutely assassinated by the teams at the top of the sport. I don't know if anybody's paid attention to how those rosters are constructed. Did you see Michigan last week in Players Era?
Their players reminded me of, like, the Soviet Russians in hockey back in the day, like a bunch of cyborgs. Like they grew them in a laboratory somewhere. God, they were huge, man. Huge.
Yeah, the Marr kid that was at UCLA, we saw him in the tournament. He was like 7'4". You know, Jax Lindenborg and Mo Johnson. Yeah, those dudes are all like 7 foot, man. Like, if you don't have big men, you're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. Everybody was complaining to him, Dusty May, about all his roster construction. He don't have any guards that can shoot. Here's the thing. When you have a bunch of guards that can shoot, and that's the only thing you can do, you're eventually going to go home because you're not going to hit shots like that every night. Bama last year, remember in the tournament, they set the record for threes? And what happened the next game? They couldn't hit anything, and they went home. Like, you got to be versatile. You got to be able to score in different areas. Like, what happened with Michigan last week in that tournament? The guards, they got Elliot Cadeau at point guard. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. But if he has games where he gets hot and he makes them, they're unstoppable. Like, I don't know. I like this Tennessee roster. Some people are complaining about it, but like a bad shot on this team isn't the worst thing because we kill on the offensive glass. Like third in the country in like second chance points and offensive rebounding percentage. Like bad shots aren't the worst thing in the world. We can play volleyball on the backboards with these guys. You know?
Dave said if you don't have guards, you're going to go home early. He said Lee's missing the point. Dave.
Yeah, I'm really missing the point because Jacoby Gillespie was wanted by every team in the country, Dave. Like, he's like a top 3 guard. You can trash him all you want, but he's like one of the best point guards in the country. Like, I don't know I'm not sure what you want, but yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, if you want to make judgments on like what you saw at a road game in Syracuse on December the 2nd, sure, go for it.
Thank you. Exactly. You got a Met walking around out there with a. What is that, Dave?
We're never going to win another game. Just go ahead.
You got a Met walking out there with a bum ankle, and everybody just ripped him on that post game show. I'm like, what are we doing? I asked Alex afterwards. I'm like, what are we doing? He goes, I don't know, Basilio. You do it every night. You tell me what we're doing. They totally overreacted to it.
Amit's a freshman. He's played like 8 games. Like he's gonna have ups and downs. Like he's learning how to play on ball. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you, if you watch him off the ball, like he's almost a cheat code with his length. But he struggles a little bit on ball, like finishing stuff. Like that's part of like being a freshman. Okay, him and Jacoby Gillespie they're not ZZ. They haven't played 4 years here in the system. Like it's gonna take them a little bit of time. It's not gonna look perfect. Like I don't know. Is this team better? I don't know. All I know is that we need Estrella, okay? Look, if Estrella can't stay on the court, then the ceiling for this team drops drastically. If he's on the court, this team can be as good as anybody. And not, like I said, if you want to overreact because of Syracuse, that's fine. I don't really care about that game, but whatever,
Well, and it was huge for them, and that's the other thing about it. Like our guest from Illinois is right. The great thing about Tennessee's program is they're playing in games like this, and they're a program that matters. Lee, did you ever think you'd see a day where a have in basketball, Syracuse, would storm the floor after beating Tennessee?
That's been a rough couple of years for them, man.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the thing is they came so close in a handful of games, like before they played us, where like they took Houston to overtime, didn't get to win.
Yeah.
Like that was a really desperate basketball team, man, that really needed that game. This week's always weird in college basketball when you get these teams off of Thanksgiving and off of these MTEs making their first road trips. Like stuff like this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not too worried about it. Like the other thing too, like this whole thing about when you got too many bigs, like clogging up the lane. Look, man, all of these rim protector is the most sought after thing in college basketball. When you get your big guys, they're going to stay in the lane. They're not going to abandon. If Parra goes and camps out the 3-point line, they're not going to go out there and guard him. When a Mint drops into the lane, he's going to have to learn how to finish with big guys in his face because they're always going to be there. That's how the game's played. Everybody plays some type of pack line or no middle where they try to keep everything out. So regardless if we got bigs on the court or not, there's always going to be somebody in there in the lane trying to protect the rim. Always. A Mint's got to learn how to finish. And I know he's small, he's kind of slight right now, and maybe that ends up being an issue. But, I'll still take his talent over some of these other guys, So, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny everybody wants to freak out because of that one game. I mean, this team's going to be just fine. So.
Pretty next level, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always entertaining. I mean, I enjoy the post-game calls. It's fun. I mean, they're sort of predictable because everybody says the same thing after every call, but I still tune in, so what can I say?
It's community. It fills a need, It's like we're going to see what we're saying about our team. Every once in a while, one of us will have a good point, in the middle of all that. Everybody involved will have a decent point. It's fun community, Lee. It's just and here's the thing about it. When you're reacting in the moment, you're always going to overreact or underreact depending on who you are. The truth about Tennessee is I love the fact that we have a program where this guy is playing all these games that matter. I wish we played more of them in our building. Lee, why are the tickets so expensive in Nashville? Like, who do they think is going to come to this thing and spend $500 for a courtside seat on face value? Who's doing that?
But they think they price everything in that arena through the roof because it's in Nashville and people want to come to Nashville, man. Like, it doesn't matter who's playing, they're going to charge a ridiculous amounts of money to get in because people are already paying no telling how much for a hotel room, and you go down there and spend $30 for a drink, for a beer. Like, that's just how it is in Nashville, man. Kentucky and Gonzaga are playing the night before. They're playing Friday night at Bridgestone, and we play on Saturday night. So luckily the Titans are not playing on Sunday in Nashville. They're in Cleveland. So
does that make the city a better place? Not having the Titans there?
Man, it'll be I hope the team's much better once they finally get the new building built, but then they'll probably, if you thought it was expensive then, wait till those tickets. I'm like, I don't even know what it's going to cost to get into that place, but.
Yes.
Well, all right, boys. Y'all be good. Oh, hey, I almost forgot. You said the Jimmy Section thing kills me every time, man. Oh, Jimmy Section. Like, see you, man.
See, it's totally illiterate, man. I mean, if you don't laugh, if we can't laugh with each other and laugh at ourselves, and that goes back, Matt, to a bit. Describe to the folks that just found the Jimmy Section thing. Matt, what is that in reference to?
Back, I probably been at least 5 years or so, you were getting the scam IRS calls, and you called them back on air, and you were Jimmy Section was how they would repeat your name, and you were Nick Saban's agent, and you had forgotten to pay taxes for a number of years, and they got really excited when you called them back.
He goes.
That was a really fun on-air bit.
He goes like this. There's some guy in a boiler room, like in Bangladesh, and he goes. I said, "Listen, man." I said, "My name's Jimmy Sexton, and I just got a call from you guys, and I've been meaning to pay you. Can we work something out?" I said, I probably owe you a couple $1 million is what I told him. He goes, "Oh, Jimmy Section." That's what he said to me.
The boiler room in Bangladesh gets me every time.
Well, I mean, it's what it is, It's like a total boiler room in Bangladesh. It's pretty fun.
All right, Tom.
Boys, it was fun. Brian, tomorrow you'll be in the hot bird seat here. It's pretty great, isn't it? Much love to you, boys. Thank you.
See you guys.
Matt, thanks, man. C, come on back. C's been on a sabbatical, but he's listening to us. C says the following. He said, please tell Nega Dave, a.k.a. Negative Dave, a.k.a. the empty barrel that makes the most noise, a.k.a. a BB rattling around in a jar, an empty jar. Dave, I love you. He said they would have had to pay Gillespie double than they paid Rice. Gillespie wasn't going to come and play for $1.5 million, while Rice made $3.2 million. In other words, it was going to cost about $6 million to get both those guys. Gillespie was much better than Rice last year, and it would have created huge issues around the deal. And Gillespie's people did not want that to happen. McNeely would have been Tennessee's ideal option. I will defer to C on that. He's got a working knowledge that keeps it he's got a working knowledge. It keeps it real. Till we meet again. What am I still doing on it too? Lance, I got to see you in a couple hours. We're going to set up, right? The fact that Vanderbilt and Candace Lee are doing bits like that, Hype ought to call them and say, we'll take you up on your offer. You know it? We'll take you up on your offer. And then set some terms. How much fun would that be if we called them back and said, yeah, we'll play you? Because they know nobody's going to come get some of that. Because it's like this and like that and like this. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, love you, appreciate you, love your show. If you want to sponsor the overtime segment, let me know. And we love you. I love your show. Peace on the streets. All right. Let's run today's show back, shall we? It was such an exercise in non-futility. Today's show was kind of entertaining and sort of fun. And I forgot to talk about Lane Kiffin and the governor down there. The governor has basically told Lane Kiffin that he expects him to help him stump for him next year when it's re-election time. This is going to be when Lane Kiffin realizes, plus the Frank Wilson fight, what Lane Kiffin's gotten himself into is going to be, it's going to be fun. Sort of what I stand for, All right, let's see here. Da-da-da-da. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.